Hey guys, good morning, good morning. Honestly, oil's been dipping down. The Nasdaq has broken all-time highs. The S&P has broken all-time highs. More optimism about a potential ceasefire going on. And Britt told you guys yesterday, I mentioned it yesterday as well, it was likely that we would at least test these all-time highs considering we were so close. We have now. Oil's actually been pushing down a pretty significant amount. Is there an echo? Guys, let me know. But oil has been dipping down here. Look at oil. It's back down to 91.5. It opened up a little elevated early this morning, but oil has fallen all the way back down. It's basically right at the previous closing price. We do have jobless claims, unemployment. We have the Philly Fed index going live at 8:30 as well here. And yeah, market optimism is back. We also had Taiwan Semiconductors, TSM data, TSMC, report earnings. Now, they honestly did pretty good on their earnings report. So Taiwan Semiconductors honestly did a pretty nice earnings report. Now, this is an overseas company, so they reported it at like 1 or 2 a.m., depending on where you live here in the U.S., but they did really well. They did really well. If we look deeper into TSM here, TSM ended up posting... let me find it. Yeah, TSM ended up reporting record Q1 net profit, about 572.5 billion, which is about 18.2 billion US, up roughly 58% year over year. Revenue jumped about 35% year over year for TSM. They posted 1.34 trillion, or 1.134 trillion, which is about 35.7 billion US. But again, they kind of already had these high expectations priced into TSM. They had already run up on the AI boom narrative. Pre-announced revenue beat like last week. Remember, they reported some of this last week ahead of the earnings. So the news was mostly in line or slightly better than expected. They ended up dropping here probably just from profit taking after the earnings report. And yeah, they also warned high gas prices amid Middle East conflict could impact profit. So we'll see if that ends up happening. But yeah, we don't know when the next round of ceasefire talks are going to be. The president posted late yesterday. He said, quote, trying to get a little breathing room between Israel and Lebanon. It has been a long time since the two leaders have spoken, like 34 years. It will happen tomorrow. Nice! Exclamation point. U.S. President Donald Trump, he told guests on Monday night that he wants to bring the war in Iran to a swift end and that the only way to get Iran back to the negotiating table was to increase pressure. Iranian ceasefire. So we'll see if that ends up getting done, but optimism is here. Markets are at all-time highs ahead of earnings season this year, or this quarter. And yeah, it's an interesting time in markets right now, an interesting time. Are you guys bullish or bearish on today, on the day today? Let me know. What's up? Hard Drip, Apex, Hack, Keegan, Tim, Blaze, Deckers, Good News, Chan, Max, F, VA, Michael, Tantrum, Glass, Scotty, D, Marcus, Shun, Yee, Seaman, Checkboard, Daily, Jonathan, Brazi, MV, Kato, Ava, Vegas, Thinker, Young, Scales. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Also, we have U.S. Secretary of State Rubio is expected to call the Lebanese president and try to convince him to include Israel Prime Minister in the conversation. So let's see what happens here, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they talk. They talk. I think optimism's here for, obviously more optimism is here for the ceasefire.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that's probably one of the roadblocks right now.
Yeah, potentially good things. Good morning, everybody. If you have two leaders who or two factions who haven't spoken in 34 years and they're going to speak, you at least have the potential for something good.
Right. It's optimistic. It's relatively decent news. I don't think anybody can try to say that talks between the two are not good. Yeah, and we also had other news that was kind of issued that said a spokesperson for the Lebanese president told CNN regarding a reported phone call between the Lebanese president and the Israel prime minister. They said, quote, we have no knowledge of this, and if it happened, a statement will be issued. So they didn't deny it. They just said they didn't know about it, and if it did happen, they'll issue a statement. So we'll see. We'll be watching for a statement, maybe. But yeah, oil really started dipping down. I was trying to figure out why it was. I couldn't really figure out what the cause of this big turnaround was right here. Maybe it was the talks about the Israel Prime Minister and Lebanese President potentially speaking here, kind of easing some worries. This catalyst dropped. Let me see exactly when. Iran's parliament speaker at 5:54 said the ceasefire in Lebanon is important to us as the ceasefire in Iran is as important to us as the ceasefire in Iran. So I mean, maybe people interpreting that or digesting that as good. This news mostly started around that period of time. Here's 9:45 or 9:54 right here. So this could explain why oil dipping down. Maybe here's 9:54 or 5:54 my time, 6:50. Yeah, 6:54 market time is right here. So that's what he said it. So that lines up. Yeah, TSM.
Yeah. So barring some, sudden development or some earth-shattering tweet, I'm going to say, bullish on the day.
Bullish? Yeah, I mean, we broke all-time highs. Sometimes what we do, though, in markets, guys, is like, sometimes we break all-time highs, and then we come right back down, and so we just kind of put in that top, and then people start saying, hey, we're at all-time highs, let's take profit now, and then the market starts to turn the other way. I would say the momentum is definitely on the upside. I think, market optimism is back, and yeah, I think obviously the easy one is the bull side, but we could always go back the other way. And so while I'm looking on the upside as well, just be careful, guys. Markets could obviously turn the other way.
Yeah, and if I end up being wrong, I have no problem saying I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty common, Britt. You're always wrong, bro.
Yeah, most of the time I'm always wrong.
All right, 60% of the time he's wrong every time, guys.
Yeah.
Volume is low for all-time highs incoming. What is the initial jobless claims amount expected? I believe today it's 212. Let me see. I think it's it's about 212 expected for jobless claims. Last time it showed up at 219. So the last time it did show up a little bit higher. Jobless claims are how many people are filing for unemployment. We also have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index going live at the same time. At 8:30 for April, the Philly Fed Index comes out. It's expected at 10.3. Last time was 18.1. We also have Fed member Williams speaking at 8:35 today. And that's basically it. Tomorrow, I don't think we have anything going on.
Anybody have any inkling what he's going to talk about?
Williams, I mean, we also have Barkin speaking today. Or no, that's tomorrow. Oh no, that is today. Yeah, we got some Fed speakers. Oh no, that's tomorrow. Sorry. Williams, I have to look up if Williams is a hawk or dove. Williams is considered a centrist or neutral, a technocrat rather than a straight hawk or dove. I can respect that.
Yeah, me too.
Taking profit now. Yeah, highs or lows, guys. Do we go up or down from this? That's what I'm trying to see. Do we break highs again today? Let me know. Do we break highs again? Yes or no? Put it up in chat right now. And in fact, I'm going to do a poll today. And it's going to be, does the SPX break all-time highs again today? You can vote on this poll. Yes or no? There's the poll. Poll is now live. Does the S&P 500 break all-time highs? I got into a great long on my take profit eval that I was trading yesterday, dude. I got in almost exactly at the lows. I walked away from my computer and forgot to exit it and ended up, I was up like 6,000 or something, and
just by accident?
Not accident. I mean, I to be honest, I forgot about it. Like I walked off, I started doing other stuff. It was kind of a busy day on my end. And so, yeah, walked away and just lost the account. NASDAQ started to dip back down here. All-time highs in the NASDAQ. Again, I'm talking about some specific levels I'm looking at. 26,400 was the previous all-time high here. So this level right here on the NASDAQ was the previous all-time high. And so I'm going to document this level just so we can watch it because this was a level. But look at the NASDAQ fall here. So the NASDAQ is actually dipping down. Again, some of this market action we're seeing today could be from TSM and the negative response that it made from its earnings, although it made the biggest moves a little bit earlier. Again, the S&P falling back down. Some of this might go red on the day. So even though we're up really big, really nicely yesterday, You can see the S&P 500's graph over the last 4 days. We're pulling back a little bit to the previous closing price. And obviously, I think on the S&P, you got to watch 7,000. 7,000 is the level, I think, on the S&P 500. Psychological level, people naturally are going to gravitate towards watching it. People pay attention to it. Technical, self-fulfilling. And so I'm watching 7,000 on the S&P. We'll see what happens there. The new all-time high on the S&P futures contract, at least, is 70.78 here. So we can look at that too. But, yeah. The Dow... the Dow kind of got left out of the party here. The Dow did not break all-time highs yesterday. So the S&P, the Nasdaq did. The Dow did not. All-time highs on the Dow. The Dow's still pretty far away from all-time highs. All-time high on the Dow, 50,000 plus. It's at 48 still. So we still got a little range to get up there on the Dow for the Dow to break all-time highs. And we'll see if it eventually does. See, down.
Why do you think it hasn't seen the same level of upswing as the other ones?
It's just what the stocks, it's just what it's made of. The Dow was only 30 stocks, right? It's a lot less tech heavy as well, the Dow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can look at Nvidia, and Nvidia's been one of the big pushers. Nvidia's almost back up to $200 a share.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's why. It's the weight behind companies.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be some of the bank reactions too. Like the Dow is mostly made up of the Nasdaq is tech heavy. The S&P is to a certain extent as well. The Dow is mostly made up of I see people mentioning NBIS. The Dow is mostly made up of industrial, financial, consumer staple. It can be a little bit slower growing. Like tech tends to outperform those generally, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but yeah.
What about gold and silver? Where are they sitting?
Yeah, gold and silver. They're up. They're not up as much as like obviously the Nasdaq and the S&P, but they're back up some. Gold is at 48.40s. The gold level people are going to be paying attention to is 5K right here. So gold people are going to naturally watch 5,000 just in terms of what that level is. So here's 5K on gold. We're close, but we're still a little ways up there. Silver has a similar dynamic, although I think silver, you can watch 80, 90. I think 100 is obviously a big level for silver, although I think if silver gets over 100, people might be a little nervous about that just based off of how much it's rising, so to speak. So.
Yeah, I understand.
Bitcoin's still sitting at about 74,000 if we take a look at it. Here's Bitcoin today, guys. So Bitcoin's sitting at 74. It made some upward moves. It's been holding over 70, which is good, Bitcoin now has been over 70 since the last week plus. So that's an optimistic thing for Bitcoin. Last time it was under 70 was the 7th of April. It's now the 16th, so that's over a week. And yeah, we'll see if Bitcoin can hold. I'm optimistic with it. I want to see it continue pushing up. See if we make another run towards 100,000. I think a lot of big money's involved with it too, so they're more likely to prop it up in that way. We'll see. How did you get liquidated? Who are you talking about? Me? How did I get liquidated? If you're talking about like Abbott Laboratories, also known as the single largest anti-cannabis lobbying group in the world. It's hard to find that data now. It used to be out. I think they made people get rid of it. Abbott Laboratories, largest anti-cannabis lobbying group in the world. You wonder why. But yeah, the ECB minutes also reported about a minute ago here. I don't know if that's moving things either. But here's Abbott's numbers. Abbott Laboratories posted 115. They expected 115. Revenue of 11.2. They expected 11. So basically flat numbers here for Abbott. I see people talking about MBIS. Yeah, MBIS is up to 160, almost 170s. Hit 170 even this morning for NBIS. So NBIS has been absolutely flying here. Absolutely flying up. There's Abbott's numbers right here in chat if you want to see it. 800 TSM. Yeah, birds. Getting into AI, they say, right? I mean, they went up a lot, but I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's good they're getting into AI, but, you know, they're a little late. But they still jumped up a huge percentage here for BIRD stock. I got liquidated, Blaze, not from a losing position. I got liquidated because I held a position overnight, or really, I held a position past 4 p.m. is really what it was. Like, I didn't come back and check it. I was 30 minutes late. I remember that I was in the trade 30 minutes after the close at 4 or 5, the 5 p.m. close. So I remembered I was in the trade. Charles Schwab just reported earnings. I remembered it a little bit too late. So here's Charles Schwab numbers. So by the time I had come back here, Charles Schwab ended up posting 137 versus 135 expected EPS, revenue of 6.48 billion. They expected 6.5, so a slight miss. I expect them to react negatively here to this earnings report. But they're kind of flat. They're not really moving much. But there's Charles Schwab numbers in the chat right here.
What do they produce?
Yeah, birds. Hold on, Birds was a shoe company that protected birds. Now they're pivoting to AI. What a pivot, too, man. What a pivot. They're like, you know what? Let's
shoes to AI.
Yeah, let's save birds by creating shoes. You know, like, we're gonna save birds. We're gonna create shoes, guys. You know what? Actually, no. Let's get involved with artificial intelligence. What a pivot. What a
Maybe
pivot.
they'll hybridize, make AI shoes. You know, maybe
they could save AI birds now. You know, you know, that's their next step. Save AI birds. You know, that's an idea. We'll see what happens. But what a pivot. What a pivot.
Save digital nature.
Yeah, save digital birds now, guys.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe birds are AI anyway. You know, I've heard some conspiracy theories about that. What's up, Mike? The latest news is markets have been breaking all-time highs. Taiwan Semiconductors beat and raised, but even with that beat and raise scenario, profit taking still happened. It's dropping down. The Nasdaq is green on the day, green over the last few days, over the previous all-time high of 26,400. The S&P is as well. The futures E-mini S&P is over the previous, what was it, 7040 was the previous all-time high, if I remember correctly. Let me check. Was it 7040? Yeah. 7040 previous all-time high. I'm going to call it 7050. But the previous all-time high was really right around this level here. Right around this level. I think it was like right here. Really, actually, I think it was right here. But that's okay. We're going to extend this to the left. But here's the previous all-time high. I'm watching this new all-time high. Previous closing price on the S&P is at 7058. But yeah. Let those birds flock. Yeah, 7043, the previous all-time high. Yeah. And again, we got jobless claims, unemployment going live in less than an hour here, guys. Less than an hour. Again, the S&P is up to 7068 here. So let me check this. Robotics, AI, quantum, nuclear. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities. Robotics is obviously the future, I think, and so investing in those, I'm not telling you to do anything, but I think investing in those does make sense to a certain extent. I'm not an investment professional, though. We're not liable if you lose money, but robotics is obviously the future. And I'm not even just talking about humanoid robots. I'm talking about just robots in general. Bitcoin, Brit asks, you can go ahead and ask this question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Why does Bitcoin seem to climb in larger increments than other stocks or other? Yeah, whatever.
Why does Bitcoin rise larger percentages than some other stuff? It all has to do with, Bitcoin moves in a bigger range just because that's the nature of a lot of crypto. Not all of them, but like Bitcoin has always moved in a big range. Bitcoin has what's called the 4-year cycle if you look at the trends, right? So Bitcoin will go up big for a cycle, and then for a cycle have this big pullback is what we've seen. And this is what most people believe that are optimistic about Bitcoin, is that it is in a 4-year cycle. And so Bitcoin just moves in a big range because that's the history pattern that we've seen so far, really, from it, It's got a lot of buys and sells, a lot of interest, and because of that, it makes a little bit more emotional swings up and down, really. Volatility.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's just more so that this is the history pattern that we've seen on it. And people like to look at Bitcoin, they like to use the word currency, like it needs to be a currency. I think a more accurate comparison for Bitcoin is gold. People call it digital gold. You mine it. It's a proof of work concept, so you mine it.
Yeah.
And people call it digital gold because I think that's what it more accurately reflects, right? And I think, can you go into a store like Walmart and pay with gold? Probably not. For the same reason, it's going to be a little bit harder to do the same thing with Bitcoin, but it's liquid enough, like gold, to where you could sell it and get money out of it pretty easily if you need to. And I think the volatility pattern in history of Bitcoin more accurately reflects gold than anything else. So that's why people call it digital gold.
Okay, and so basically you're saying, like, at this point it moves the way it does just because it does?
Yeah, it moves like that because really, if you look at it and you try to figure it out objectively, I think it moves like that because it's gone up so much in the last 20 years. And so there's a lot of emotional reactions to it. But generally the long-term trend, it really, realistically, people like to hate on Bitcoin. It is really one of the single best performing assets ever. If you look at the history and the growth pattern of it, over the last 25 or what year is it? Over the last 19 years, 18, 17 years. Yeah, it's pretty new and it's grown a lot. And so there's just a little bit more emotional reactions.
You wouldn't happen to know what its value was at inception, would you?
No. Oh, yeah, I mean, not off the top of my head. It was something really, really, really cheap for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was it was essentially $0 for over a year. The first extremely low valuation was established in 2009 by the New Liberty Standard Exchange at roughly 0.00076 cents.
That's a heck of a good buy-in, I think, huh?
Yeah, I wish I got in there, bro. Bring me back to them. People like to say, bring me back so I could buy Amazon in 2000. No, bring me back so I could buy Bitcoin in 2009.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you could have basically gotten rich with the pocket money you had,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because Bitcoin is one of the first globally available assets you could buy without too much hassle from your living room. Yeah, it was the first truly digital currency that people bought, and it was right in the wake of the technology boom that we saw from the iPhone. iPhone came out 2006, 2007. Following that, a lot of people started doing a lot more stuff on their phones and digitally, and it all just kind of grew from
digital
there,
assets became more accessible.
Right, yeah, or more convenient. I'll say, and then, And money's going digital. I mean, people like to say cash, but like money is going digital. It's an inevitability. Like money's going digital, and it already has to a certain extent. Very, very few people use cash still. So it already has. Like that fight is basically over, and it's going to be really hard to go back outside of that unless something much worse happens.
And I gotta be honest, I think it's a mistake to get rid of physical currency. I mean, I know it's still just a fiat currency, but there's something to be said for being able to hold it in your hand and nobody can take it from you.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. One gold will always equal one gold. Well, yeah, but that's kind of a closed loop. That's a closed loop thing. You know what I mean? That's a closed loop thing. John will always be John. Brit will always be Brit. Gold will always be gold. Bitcoin will always be Bitcoin, guys. It doesn't mean anything. Like, duh. Like, obviously.
Is that an example of circular logic? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be. Circular logic will always be circular, Brit. You know that. Come on now.
I don't know. I think sometimes it'd be spherical.
Yeah. I'm not saying one Bitcoin is one gold. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm not saying one Bitcoin equals one gold, because it certainly doesn't. Depends on what kind of one gold we're talking about. If we're talking about an ounce of gold, one Bitcoin definitely does not equal an ounce of gold. It equals far, far more than an ounce of gold. But back to the point here. What I'm saying is that in terms of comparability, not of value, but just of like concept and asset, it's comparable to gold in that way. Not equaling value, but more so just of how the asset moves. Gold's volatile, Bitcoin's volatile. Like gold can go up big percentages, Bitcoin can go up percentages. Can you buy stuff at the shop at Walmart with gold? No. Can you buy stuff at the shop at Walmart with Bitcoin? Most of the time, no, as well. It's just comparable in that way. There's a lot of similarities, I guess is the point.
Yeah, I was going to ask where you could actually spend a Bitcoin. I mean, I know you can cash it in, but
you can spend it in a lot of places. It just depends on who it is. And like another thing about it is that, oh man, I'm running a blank. Break goes trading. That's it, man.
That sounds like a children's book.
What's up, Hugh? Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, look, oil's still dipping down. Oil might go red on the day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what I was gonna say. So, the reality of it is, right? If people like to say, "Oh, buy gold," if stuff ever hits the fan and the government fails, you'll have gold. It's like, okay, you'll have a shiny rock. Congratulations, you got a really shiny rock. Good. Same thing with Bitcoin. Stuff hits the fan, your Bitcoin's gonna be useless too. Gold's gonna be useless. Like people like to really pump gold in that way versus other stuff, but I don't know. You got a lot bigger problems. Same thing with bonds.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying, if stuff really hits the fan, you'll have a lot bigger problems than money.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, so ECB officials did say that the war fundamentally changed inflation outlook. The war fundamentally changed inflation outlook.
Toilet paper becomes currency. I guess that's probably true.
Look, toilet paper will always be toilet paper, okay? Nvidia is starting to fall down a little bit. Oil is almost red on the day, though, so that's good for markets. I think oil coming back down. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia's been pushing up a lot as well. Hit 200s early this morning. It's now at 197s. Again, Nvidia is still falling down pretty weak here, though. TSM did report earnings. It's kind of climbing back after some profit taking after the earnings report, which were mostly positive for TSM. Again, good EPS, good revenue, good guidance for TSM. Outside of that, I don't see any breaking news coming out, but we're getting like some recaps of the ECB minutes report. Abbott Laboratories did post earnings.
You said Abbott was one of the like a big lobbyer against like cannabis stuff.
Yeah, they're like one of the largest anti-cannabis lobbying groups in the world.
Okay.
They donate to both sides of the political spectrum, unfortunately, and try to, they have to have ties to either law enforcement or like the prison industry, really, realistically, and maybe alcohol as well. Alcohol companies probably as well. Those are the biggest three that lobby against cannabis legalization.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I heard this. I don't know that it's true, but I did hear that some of the biggest lobbyists against it are also people who already own dispensaries.
I don't know. I really
I
don't
might, I
know.
might I might be wrong, but
I'm
that's
just
what
looking at it. Or sorry, Brett, for cutting you off.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I was just looking. I look at cannabis stocks, right? Here's ACB. People thought this stock was going to be huge. It wasn't. Again, every time anybody gets power, they very rarely are going to legalize. They do just enough to make people think they're pro legalization, but they don't actually do enough to legalize it. Is what really happens. Reality is that both sides are getting a lot of PAC money to keep it against legalization, really, on both sides. Yeah. Right, this is both sides. Yeah. And it used to be a thing with Abbott where you could see how much they were donating to each side. For some reason that went away, like that disappeared. So I wonder how much money they paid some of these sites to get rid of that, because I'm pretty sure that's going on too, unfortunately.
I'm surprised they ever put that information out.
Yeah, well, it wasn't them that put it out. It was there was like a site called Open Secrets that you could kind of check that stuff with, and now that's gone too. The site's still around, but Abbott's not on there anymore. Anyways, SPY at 700 plus here, man. Let's see if the SPY holds. Here's the Nasdaq. Yeah, I used to watch ACB. I used to watch Tilray, but again, I'm not. I think it's a bad bet at this point. So I think it's low probability. I don't think either. I still think it's going to be some time before we get full-on legalization, like federal legalization. So I'm just not interested in buying up any of these cannabis stocks. They're just too risky.
I think you're right. There's just too much money involved in keeping it at least semi-illegal, right. Like somewhere in a gray zone.
No, 100%. Yep. Yeah, so we're at 355 now. 355. Or lows of TSM are 355. I'm watching for a break of that today. If we break underneath that, other stuff might follow just in terms of sympathy here. Again, we do have jobless claims unemployment in about 40 minutes.
You said that was projected at 213?
Yes, or it's like 211 or 212. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Like, cannabis, it's objectively less harmful than alcohol. Like very obviously less harmful. And so I think you have to have an even standard, and I think people
across several metrics too.
Right. No, 100%. Like, it's just, it's time to legalize it. Honestly, I'm tired of my tax dollars being wasted on,
on a battle that can't be won.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's just wasting. Like, my tax dollars are getting wasted on this stuff. Yeah. Claude from AI says 221,000. We'll see. Murphy's Law. Today we suddenly see markets crash. I don't know about a crash. We could see a pullback for sure. I mean, again, we did a poll this morning. We asked people, does the S&P 500 break all-time highs again today? 67% out of almost 300 votes say yes. So 67% say yes out of almost 300 votes so far. 33% say no. We do have 40 minutes until jobless claims come out. And we'll see if the market holds today, guys. We'll see if the market holds. Again, markets are interesting. TSM reporting good earnings, but still dropped. NASDAQ really at all-time highs. We're getting more optimism about a Lebanon-Israel ceasefire. Both sides are looking like they might come together. But right now, we're still pretty slow in markets right now. Markets are breaking all-time highs. The Lebanese president said, quote, just now, the U.S. is continuing efforts to reach a ceasefire. So we'll see if that happens. If that happens, optimism for a longer-term ceasefire is going to be here. But remember, the U.S. ceasefire is set to end on the 21st. So in less than a week, the U.S.-Iran ceasefire is set to end. And so we'll see what happens on that front. But that is supposed to be going on. We did have some earnings. We are in the wake of earnings season. I think we have Hegseth speaking right now. Or no, Hegseth is going to be speaking in 10 minutes. They're going to hold a press briefing about military operations in the Middle East. So we'll watch what they say. But okay, so, and again, the Lebanese president, about what was this? 4 minutes ago, the Lebanese president did come out speaking, and he said oil just dipped under the previous close. So oil, WTI crude, under the previous closing price, technically red on the day. But about 4 minutes ago, the Lebanese president told U.S. Secretary of State Rubio that he would not agree to talk to the Israel prime minister. So he's still refusing to talk. Well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's big enough to influence markets. NASDAQ is still somewhat green on the day. But really, we're pretty tight range here. We are putting in higher lows right now on the NASDAQ. So we are putting in higher lows. And, yeah, we'll see what happens here, guys. We'll see what happens. We are heading into the data release in about 38 minutes, 37 minutes. But markets are just waiting. Most of these things are at all-time highs. NASDAQ, S&P are at all-time highs. NVIDIA was over 200s for a little while. But, again, it's kind of dipping down here. It's red on the day now. But it's close enough. Maybe we'll see some swings back up. This could just be profit taking because we're at all-time highs. Dope is never good for you. I don't care what name people give it to you. Look, I'm not saying it's good for you either. It's not like I'm doing this stuff. Like, the reality of it is, I think we need to have an objective legalization standard. You know, if they sell liquor at gas stations, you know, and then turn around and criticize cannabis just because the liquor companies have more money to fund lobbyists, right? That's not something that I think is good. I think you have to have an even standard of legalization. And I think one of the reasons cannabis is a gateway drug is because it's illegal. You know, I've said this many times, like, it's a gateway drug because it's illegal. You know, you have to go to an illegal dealer to get it. And eventually that guy's going to be like, hey guys, you want to try this too? And thus it's a gateway drug. And so people like to criticize, like, the legalization, but honestly, it would make it much less of a gateway drug if they legalized it federally. And that's something that people just don't understand. People just kind of go with the status quo, I think, with this, but, you know.
I agree with you. And someone here says, you know, tobacco too. But, like, so first off, the reason tobacco is legal is because it's the original cash crop. And with liquor and booze, it's just been around so long. It's ubiquitous. I mean, people don't really look at it in the same light as they do cannabis. And but when it comes down to it, like, I'm a firm believer of, you know, just as long as you're not hurting anybody,
right? You
know, you should be able to do what you want to do.
Sure. Right. Exactly. Like, do whatever you want to do as long as you don't hurt somebody else doing it. You know. Like, the issue I have more so than anything else is that corporations are controlling this. Like, the corporations are controlling it. Like, they have an incentive to keep it illegal, and they're the ones controlling this, unfortunately. And, you know, that's the issue I have, is that we're seeing too much corporate control over people's everyday decisions. And people can try to frame it another way because, you know, that's how it's been sold to us for 100 years now. But that's the reality of it, is that corporations are controlling it. That's the issue I have.
Absolutely, and the real reason it was made illegal to begin with, it was initially taxed in 1937 on the end of prohibition being repealed in 1933. It was really made illegal to justify a lot of jobs that were probably going to fold if didn't have somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that was a little long.
No, you're good. All right, so we're almost at the top of the hour here. It is 7:55 in the morning. Markets are still reeling from all-time highs. I think the market can break all-time highs. I don't know if it's going to hold. You know, I think it might be a situation today where we can kind of range sideways, and I think we might push up in the S&P, break all-time highs, and then come right back down. I don't necessarily think, with the context of everything going on in the Middle East, with potentially high inflation, with oil, unless we get some news, which is certainly possible. But unless we get some news coming out, I don't know if we're really going to have the type of day that we had yesterday, today in the S&P and the Nasdaq. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. You never know. If we get more de-escalating news regarding the Middle East, that's certainly a situation in which we could keep running. But if we don't get any more breaking news on that front, and, you know, markets open, you know, jobless claims don't show up anything crazy, I think it could be a situation where we break highs once today, maybe, and then kind of chop sideways, maybe pull back a little bit on profit taking. I might be wrong. I'm just straight up guessing here. And so, yeah. Yeah, oil's still up a lot. Here's oil. Here's CL futures. Oil just went back green on the day. It did go red for a little while. CL futures oil now at 91.40s. 91.40s. Michael Saylor still tweeting. Yeah, we got Netflix earnings today, guys. But yeah, like I said, a couple minutes ago, the Lebanese president spoke on the phone with Secretary of State Rubio and thanked him for his efforts to reach a ceasefire. Rubio affirmed the continuation of the ongoing efforts to reach a ceasefire as a prelude basis to establishing peace, security, stability in Lebanon, according to Axios. So,
You cut out on me a little bit. Could you repeat that last bit?
yeah, sorry. So I'm reading a couple different things. One of them is that the U.S. military is widening the scope of shipping blockade to include contraband items such as munitions and other stuff. So vessels suspected of transporting those things can be visited, searched, and seized anywhere, according to an advisory. Again, we also looked at President of Lebanon spoke on the phone with the U.S. Secretary of State Rubio and thanked him for the efforts to reach a ceasefire, and that Rubio affirmed the continuation of the ongoing efforts to reach a ceasefire as a prelude to establishing peace, security, and stability in Lebanon.
At least efforts are being made. I mean, I think it's trending in the right direction. Not to say it'll stay that way, but
No, for sure. Just like crypto. Yeah, I mean, Jim, it's all good, brother. We could agree to disagree on some of that stuff. You might be right about some of it. Again, it's not like I'm just talking about. Again, the issue I have. I'm not gonna go into it. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Nvidia at 197 here again. TSM did report good earnings, good EPS, good revenue, good guidance. They dropped pretty significantly from this, but they're starting to fight their way back up. They're at 371.50 right now. 371.50. We might take some trades today, guys. Let's try to take some trades. Is it time for me to buy or sell right now? Should I buy or sell? Let me know right now. Should I buy or sell right now? Let me know. Put it out in chat. Honestly, it's looking like
I think I'm just gonna.
Go ahead. I was gonna say it's looking like a short here because we're right at the 200 exponential. But again, what do I know? We're close enough to all-time highs. Here's the 200 exponential. We are kind of in this high volume area of the volume profile. I see. Yeah, the Pentagon briefing, it starts right now. I'm not really gonna stream this. I don't know if it's worthwhile to stream it, but we'll cover the cliff notes as he comes out. He's basically gonna say we're winning. You know, we're doing great things and we're winning in the Middle East. Like again, that's what Hegseth is gonna say. You know, we're doing great. You know. Everything's going well. We're winning, and that's essentially what he's gonna say here.
Yeah, most likely, and hopefully that's all he says.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what he's gonna say. I can watch this. He hasn't really started speaking yet, but we'll cover it as he does. You know. And again, we have jobless claims unemployment in less than 30 minutes now. We'll see if those move markets. Who knows?
Yeah, do you think we come in high or low on those?
I really don't know, man. This is a week-to-week unemployment filings report. So this data comes out weekly. It's more real-time jobs data, though. So this is relevant because it's more real-time look at jobs is what this is. And so a more real-time look at jobs is relevant with all the stuff going on in terms of rate decisions and will we get rate hikes and will we get rate cuts this year. A lot of people think we're going to get, you know, a rate hike this year. I don't know if we're going to get a rate hike, but I don't know if we're going to get a cut either. And so because of this, I think it's all pretty relevant to everything going on. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, we'll cover it. We'll see if we move markets. It should move markets if we come in at a big level over or under what's expected. And again, what's expected is right around here. I gotta change the song, dude. I can't stay in the song. If I'll put it this way, if the song didn't have the ha 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 part of it, I might like The problem is, like, I feel like somebody's laughing at me in the background. I'm like, man, this dude's laughing at me this whole time. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted by that song. So the IMF just posted it. He said Asian central banks should look through energy shocks but tighten policy if inflation expectations become de-anchored. And yeah, expectations for jobless claims, just to put this out there. If we're talking about expectations, jobless claims expectations are about 212. About 212. We also just got European CPI that just showed up. European CPI did show up today, early this morning. Mostly flat. Year-over-year CPI was a little bit higher than expected at 2.6 versus 2.5% expected. And jobless claims are expected at 212 roughly today, 212. So I'm waiting for Hegseth to start speaking. It doesn't look like he is, but Hegseth should be speaking sometime today. Pentagon update on Epic Fury, Hormuz blockade soon might have effect depending on what they say. Yeah, we're gonna cover it like as they speak. But again, the only thing about this is that it's very predictable in regards to what he's gonna say. Like, he's going to say, "Hey, we're doing great over there. Like, things are going well." You know, of course he is. I'm not even mad at him for saying it. I'm not supporting him saying it. I'm just saying that's probably what he's gonna do. He's gonna say, "Look at all these great things we're doing." That's what generally happens during these briefings. And so the real question is, go ahead.
To say the goal, I mean, of course, he's going to say the goal is to garner public support.
Right, exactly. And so the only question mark here is, like, does he say escalating things? Like, does he say things that makes people more worried about escalation in Iran? You know, that's the real question mark here. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I was a betting man, probably.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a mix of all of it. You know,
I hope he doesn't. Obviously. But.
Yeah. SEBI's market cap will matter. These companies' earnings are not justifying their market caps, and institutions are starting to see this. Yeah, and I know TSM raised their capex as well. I might short this. The only problem is Hegseth about to speak. It's not going to be a large short here. It's going to be a very small short.
Oh, yeah, he is. I have the screen.
Yeah, I need us to break down a little bit more before I short this, actually. We'll see. Here's oil. Oil just went red on the day again, but it bounced right there. So. Oh, he is talking right now. Yeah, he did just start. Here.
Which is where we'll start with a message to Iran's military leadership. To the KH leadership and IRGC leadership, we're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to. While you are digging out, which is exactly what you're doing, digging out of bombed out and devastated facilities.
Yeah, again, we'll cover Cliff Notes. It's a little bit too hot of a press conference. You know? Oracle's pushing.
Time's gonna eat up.
Right, it might eat up some time. We have 25 minutes until jobless claims. I'm watching it. We're looking at his quotes regarding things. He says, he basically said, we know which military assets you are moving out. Is that we are watching you, basically talking to Iran. He said forces are postured. Yeah. He said forces are postured to restart combat if Iran chooses the wrong thing and doesn't agree to the deal. So he's basically putting pressure on them to make a deal. Said choose wisely on a deal with the United States. We're watching oil and to see how oil moves. Here's oil right here. This is CL futures. We're watching this to see how this moves. Yeah, he does talk a lot. But, I mean, look, take 4 TRT. Yeah, they do a lot of press conferences. Hegseth does a press conference basically every other day. Or at least once a week, I guess. Too much to handle? It's not that it's too much to handle. It's like, you gotta think, I'm running on a stock market trading stream here. And so while Hegseth's comments are important, I'd rather... I don't know what Hegseth's gonna say, you know?
Well, that's while what he says is potentially important, that's just aside from whatever moves markets. That's not what you're here to cover.
Right, exactly. And so if he says something that moves markets, I'll cover it. But he speaks every other day, and I think yeah. All right, guys. So oil's here, and I'm not against him or for him. I'm just neutral on all this stuff. I really am. People want me to pick a side. Something he's saying though is making the Nasdaq dip here, and so let's see if oil's spiking. Oil's not really spiking either. The Nasdaq and oil are coming down some here. Yeah, he's basically hyping up the U.S. Navy is what he's doing right now, talking about how great our Navy is. Yeah, so he said, quote, Iran likes to say it controls the Strait of Hormuz, but it has no Navy, end quote. He said the U.S. is reloading with more power than ever. And again, he's urging them to choose wisely regarding a deal with the United States. And so we'll keep doing the cliff notes around this, but we'll see how markets respond. And again, we have jobless claims unemployment in 20 minutes. So we'll see what that looks like as well. Time to buy LNG stocks. What's up, Guillermo? Ugh. Hey, did I get a donation that I missed? I did. XSD up 140% since April. Cool off top. I mean, it's up a lot for sure. Depends on if the sectors continue, you know. Semiconductors. And so, yeah, it just depends on if they continue here. I don't know. Nvidia's pushing up. You know, it's not a surprise to see XSD push up. Just depends on if you think semiconductors are going to keep running. It looks okay to me, but we're still at all-time highs, so maybe we could pull back a little bit and see what happens there. I'm not really sure what we're going to do on that front. But, yeah, I appreciate the donation, my friend. Thank you, sir. LNG's liquefied natural gas. Augustine. It's liquefied natural gas. You know, Hexat's still commenting here, guys, so he's still speaking. He said U.S. Navy controls traffic going in and out of the strait because it has a Navy, and Iran does not have a Navy anymore. For as long as it takes, we will maintain the blockade, he says. Energy industry is not destroyed yet, but the U.S. blockade is shutting down exports. Yeah. So the biggest market moving news, I would say, is for as long as it takes, we will maintain the blockade. We can take a look at oil here. Here's oil. Oil's technically red on the day. None of it's really moving markets in any big profound way though here. Oh wait, Brittany, you gone, dude? Did you leave?
No, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
I've just been letting you talk.
Oh, I just saw your comment about the stream failed in Discord.
Yeah.
Not this stream. We never fail. We never give up. We never surrender here. So Hexath is still commenting.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the markets aren't really reacting. I mean, from what you have been reporting, I don't think he's really said anything of note yet. But that doesn't mean he won't.
The biggest comment that he said is this right here. U.S. will maintain the blockade for as long as it takes. So, U.S. launching really Operation, and he said the U.S. is launching Operation Economic Fury. Sounds like I might change my name to that, dude. That's a great name. You know, Economic Fury. You know,
it's a great superhero name.
John over there at Economic Fury said this. You know, I might use that. All right, the Nasdaq here. The Nasdaq at 26,400s. So we'll see what happens. Nasdaq green on the day, close to all-time highs. I don't know if we're going to continue pushing like we did yesterday, but I think we might at least test all-time highs sometime today. We have 20 minutes left until jobless claims unemployment.
What's LNG pricing at right now?
Let me see. I'm showing it roughly at like 263s for LNG. They're up today, it looks like. What's the natural gas futures contract? I always forget it. Is it NG? Yeah. So 263s. You know, natural gas ran up big. Like, remember the winter storms that we got? Was it December or January we got these winter storms? I can see it right here on the natural gas chart. It was November and December. Those winter storms hit, and look at natural gas. Natty gas went all the way up to 550s during that period of time, just because people were correlating. Yeah, like more heating needed because of the storms, and it was super cold, and so LNG ended up, or natural gas ended up ripping up, you know, a big amount. It fell all the way back down. It's now about 50%. It's now right around 50% less than it was at the peak. So, but it's up a little bit today. It's at 260s.
Okay.
Yeah. Flagnomics, not NG. Yeah. All right, guys. Jobless claims unemployment. 15 minutes here. 15 minutes. We'll see what we get today. We'll see what we get.
I'm just going to throw a random guess out and say the numbers come in lower than expected.
You were right yesterday, Britt. People like to give you a lot of crap. They say you're the worst person ever. You know, you're the least.
I've heard them say that.
you're the least smartest person in the world. They say probably. And so, but you were right about your prediction yesterday. Yesterday, you said you think the S&P would break all-time highs, and we did break all-time highs yesterday, guys. The S&P did break all-time highs. We got over 7,000. You know, they like to say you're the worst cook out there. You're the worst cook in the world. You know.
That, sir, I will not brook that insult. That is not true. Everything else is true. I might be the dumbest person on the face of the earth, but I can cook.
Yeah, but S&P, guys, look, it's up there. It's up there. Previous highs, I'm watching 7,000. I've said this many times. I am watching 7,000. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Hegseth continues to say stuff. But again, he hasn't really said anything new here. He's taking questions right now. Here, look.
And as the Secretary said, I'd like to emphasize during this pause that the United States Joint Force remains postured and ready to resume major combat operations at literally a moment's notice. This morning, I'd like to give you an update on the ongoing blockade in the CENTCOM AOR area of responsibility. Right. On Monday, 13 April at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time,
this is about the blockade.
At the direction of the President, America's Joint Force began implementing a blockade against Iran under the leadership of Admiral Cooper and the team at CENTCOM. Let me be clear, this blockade applies to all ships, regardless of nationality, heading into or from Iranian ports. The U.S. action is a blockade of Iran's ports and coastline, not a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Enforcement will occur inside Iran's territorial seas and in international waters. In addition to this blockade, the Joint Force, through operations and activities in other areas of responsibility, like the Pacific area of responsibility under the command of Admiral Paparo, will actively pursue any Iranian-flagged vessel or any vessel attempting to provide material support to Iran.
All right, so yeah, so that's Kane, General Kane speaking right now regarding the blockade. Again, markets are not really reacting. He's kind of saying things we know already. Oil is basically flat on the day. It's almost completely flat. You can see the previous closing price here for WTI crude, and we're literally right here. So we are basically flat on the day right now for oil. The Nasdaq's slightly green. You know, I think you could argue a couple different scenarios for the opening bell. Here's Taiwan Semiconductors, right? Taiwan Semiconductors has negatively reacted to pretty good earnings. They had high capex though. I think they raised their capex and stuff. But maybe if this starts to rebound back up, you know, we'll get another push towards. Hold on, wait.
Red dashed line. This map is a pull from our common operating picture that we use to allow commanders and key leaders to see what is happening in near real time. We just grabbed screen grabs to highlight the actions and activities. What is not shown is how incredibly congested this area is and the incredible work that our sailors are doing to ensure that they can work in and around an incredibly busy water space. What is also
That's incredible.
not depicted here is the massive.
All right, so yeah, so again, here's the Nasdaq. Still not really reacting, but we're gonna watch it closely here. We do have jobless claims in 13 minutes here. 13 minutes. We got over 1,000 people here. Let's see what happens today for jobless claims, guys. Let's see what we get.
What do you guys think is going to happen? Chat.
Higher or lower jobless claims today, guys? We have 12 minutes left. Higher or lower? We also have the Philly Fed Index, so we might get a little bit more volatility than a normal Thursday. Claims up. Claims up. Claims up or down? Higher. 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 Everybody thinks higher claims. Higher. Unless fudged. Higher. I don't think we've had one person think we're going to have lower jobless claims today, which is how many people are filing for unemployment. Remember, jobless claims is how many people are filing for unemployment today.
I'm saying lower. It's just a random guess, but I'd like to add an addendum as well, and that is, if I'm right, all you guys join the Discord, and if I'm wrong, join the Discord anyway.
If you're wrong, you join the Discord to make fun of him.
Yeah, I'm an easy target.
That's right, he is. You know, they tell me Brit's the worst cook. They tell me Brit is the dumbest guy ever. I'd say no. I think he's not quite the dumbest, you know.
The dumb man deep fry an Oreo? I don't think so.
Big stock market reversing. Yeah, I see a lot of people thinking we're going to have... we got the Philly Fed manufacturing data today. Philly Fed manufacturing data. Again, it's expected today at 10.3. Last time was 18. It measures the relative level of business conditions among manufacturers in the Fed district. So over 0 on the index indicates improving, below 0 indicates worsening. So they are expecting manufacturing to get a little bit better at 10.3. It's not worsening manufacturing conditions, but yeah. Yeah, I'm still watching. So the Lebanese embassy in Washington informed U.S. administration that Lebanese president would not speak to Israeli prime minister, to Lebanese officials say. Yeah, we saw that news earlier. But yeah, Kane said the U.S. will pursue any vessel attempting to provide support. All right, 10 minutes left, chat. Jobless claims.
I mean, that's not exactly a shock. That's kind of the point of a blockade, isn't it?
Right, no, 100%. 100% agree. I don't know, I'm betting on my puts. Yeah. Brit's part of the furniture now. Cooking with Brit, you know. I think jobless claims are much lower. Yeah. I think jobless claims are much lower. The president cooked the books on inflation reports, so why not claims? Well, I don't know. Claims are more real time. We'll see what they show up as in terms of... this is unemployment claims. How many people are filing for unemployment week to week, right? So, drops in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he could actually interfere with those numbers. He might be able to. I don't know. But.
Yeah, well, what they're referring to is, you know, we had some really strong... Or was it really weak? I'm trying to think. We had some really weak jobs numbers, and... I'm trying to think of it might have been the opposite. Basically, Trump fired one of the BLS leaders once we got data that I don't know if he said it was inaccurate or he just didn't like the data. I think he said it was inaccurate, and so he fired one of them.
I remember what you're talking about. I think he did say it was inaccurate.
Yeah. So this is, Scott says, can you remind me how it will affect the market, John, high or low? So jobless claims are how many people are filing for unemployment week to week, right? So higher jobless claims numbers means weaker jobs. Real quick, though, the market is bouncing up a little bit. Let me see if this has to do with anything Hegseth or Kane is saying here. He said, as of this morning, the U.S. military has not boarded any ships. 13 ships have made a wise choice to turn around, and he warns that force will be used if the blockade is not followed. He said vessels will be stopped for searches and seizures. So we can take a look at oil to see if this is impacting oil, but it's not really. Honestly, we're kind of moving the same direction, oil and the NASDAQ. So
Maybe it's a little voyeuristic and not pertinent, but I'm curious as to where the ships that got turned around were coming out of, like what countries, you know?
yeah, we'll have to check to see. There is some data that we can find that on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some ways we can see it. Chat might answer it. Yeah, higher jobless claims means weaker jobs. So higher jobless claims means more people filing for unemployment, at least initially week to week, right? Continuing claims is how many people continue to file for it that filed previously. So higher claims numbers is worse. Lower claims is better, right? So the lower the number shows up as, the better it is. The higher the number shows up as, the worse it is for jobs. And the numbers have been high. Jobless claims did show up at almost, I think it was almost, what was it, 220
6 or 7,000 higher.
Yeah, it was last time the job numbers showed up at 219, almost 220. Again, we also have
212.
Yeah. We also have the Philly Fed Index. Again, showed up. Over 0 is improving conditions in manufacturing. Below 0 is deteriorating conditions in manufacturing, right? So this is expected to add a positive number, although it is weaker than the previous number at 18. Previous one was 18. They're expecting 10, basically 10 today for that number as well. Oil continues to push. Jobless claims going up is normal because of AI. Yeah.
I wonder how many jobs have been lost to AI so far. I mean, I know it's
a lot.
Sector. Yeah, I know the tech sector is probably the heaviest hit right off the bat, but
sure. No, 100%. What do you have? What's the takeaway on the fact that we have a new all-time high on the ES and Bitcoin is hardly moving? I think that's mostly from ceasefire news, also from earnings and optimism with future projections. It is what it is. You can see the Dow not moving much as well, and so what it means is it's centered on tech. You know, that's what this is. What's up, Faye?
most people don't understand how global oil prices work. It's all put in a big pot and priced universally. I mean, I understand that, but I mean, are we not insulated at all because we have our own supply? Like, are we insulated even a little bit?
Yeah, we're insulated from oil.
I mean, I'm talking about the price hikes, not supply. You know.
Oh, what, inflation price hikes? Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Specifically, like gas price.
Oh, well, gas prices. Yeah, I mean, we're insulated some, but it's still going to raise the price of gas.
Yeah, I mean, I know it raises it some. I just wondered if we had any level of insulation. You know, that's all.
Yeah. All right, guys, we have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. Jobless claims, unemployment drops in 4 minutes here. Give me your last minute projections. Higher or lower jobless claims today? Put higher or lower in chat right now if you think we're going to come up higher or lower than the 211 expected today. 211,000 jobless claims expected today. We can also look at the Dixie here. Here's the dollar index. Dollar index, 98s today, 98s. Again, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow are all green on the day, I think. I think the Dow's green. Yeah, Dow's green. So I'm looking at this low, lower, flat, higher, no, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, lower, higher, higher, lower. So we're basically split 50-50 here is what I'm reading.
I'm erring on the side of optimism.
You're erring on the side of optimism, so less jobless claims would be optimistic? Yes. Okay, less jobless claims.
Completely unfounded guess, just for everybody listening.
You heard it here first. Britt says lower jobless claims today. My prediction, pain? Yeah.
Mr. T, Rocky 3.
Yeah, I'm the Mr. T of the stock market, guys. You know, that's what
Clubber
they say.
Lang.
Yeah.
Which also like a little over the top name, but also an awesome bad guy name.
Yeah, for sure. So flat is good. I don't know if flat's good. I would say lower is good, higher is worse. Generally.
Yeah, I think
again,
flat is just flat.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we're gonna move from this report. Like I always tell you guys, I try to be honest. I don't know if we're gonna move up or down big. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I know what I do know right now, and this is a really important statement, is that we're putting it in sub. Oh, we already are in sub only mode, dude. Honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of this. Every time I put it in not sub only mode, it automatically puts it in sub only mode. Like I don't know why it does it. Anyways, 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. The bigger amount we're over or under the expectation, the more this will move markets, right? And again, we also have the curveball of the Philly Fed in there as well. So if that number shows up really weak for manufacturing, potentially, maybe markets don't like it. We'll see what the response looks like, though. NASDAQ has not moved barely at all, though. NASDAQ is really flat. So we'll see if we start to wake up. We have less than 2 minutes left.
A weird stall.
Yeah. Anyways, hit the live button next to the play button, guys. Put it in 2x speed. We got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. All right, we're at 26,420 on the NASDAQ here. I'll put the S&P up here as well. Maybe gold. Here's gold. Gold's
Again, if I'm right, join the
You're
Discord to praise me, and if I'm wrong, join the Discord to lambaste me.
Right, that's right. Way. I expect all of you to join the Discord and make fun of Brent. Here's the Discord link. Join it right now.
I'm very willing to be wrong just for that, so just join.
Right. 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute left. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, I mean, again, the reason this report's relevant is because it's real time. Much more real time than some of the other data that we get the next month versus the previous month. So it's a little bit more real time. This is previous week's data for unemployment filings. 40 seconds left, guys. 40 seconds left. That's right.
Says lambasting.
Yeah,
Don't
30
steal
seconds.
My word. That's my word.
Yeah. I'm really known to lambast, personally. You know, that's what people know me for, is lambasting. Listen, guys, we have 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Hit the live button, put it in 2x speed. Make sure you're caught up to the stream. We have 20 seconds left. No, we have about 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the report right now. Jobless claims ended up showing up at 207, lower than expected at 207 for jobless claims. Dude, 207 versus 213 expected. Philly Fed showed much stronger than expected, guys. This showed up at 26.7. 26.7 versus 10 expected. Higher than last time for Philly Fed. Higher than expected. Jobless claims were lower than expected, showing stronger job numbers than expected. Although I will say continuing claims did increase to 1.818 million versus 1.81 million expected. So worse than expected. The NASDAQ, or better than expected jobs numbers. The NASDAQ is actually dropping on this report. Look at this drop on the NASDAQ on this report here. So the NASDAQ is actually falling down on this report here. Let's take some trades right now, maybe. Maybe I'm going to short this. Look, NASDAQ is falling right now. Gold is dipping down as well. I'm going to short a bounce here. Let's try. That's a pretty big drop for jobless claims numbers. Again, we showed up at 207K versus expected 213, lower than expected, lower than previously. Philly Fed showed up way stronger than expected, almost 27 versus 10 expected. Continuing claims were higher though, guys. Continuing claims were higher. Prices paid was 59. Maybe that's what's scaring people for April versus 44.7 for the Philly Fed index previously. So maybe higher prices paid, making people worried about inflation aspects here. So maybe higher prices paid, making people worried about inflationary aspects. We'll put this number up on screen, but yeah, look at the market react negatively. I will short. I love you.
Love you.
I beat Maddie yesterday with 1 foot, blindfolded, with my left hand, and she knows it. She knows it. I love you. I love you. Have a good day.
Was it like a my left foot situation where you're actually holding the paddle with your foot?
That's right. Yeah, listen, I'm like Daredevil. I'm like Daredevil. I am going to short this right here, guys. I am going to short this.
Also, I've just got to say I'm the greatest. And I mean, I'll share some of my glory with Faye because apparently she guessed that too, but I'm the greatest.
Yeah, data came out stronger than expected for jobs. Again, we showed up at 207 versus expected 215, 211, 210. So slightly better than expected. Philly Fed Index showed strength here. We are shorting this now. We are going to add to this as well here. We are going to add to this. We are short now. And we're getting punished for being short right now, guys. I deserve it, I think, right now, dude. Look at this big green candle. You don't love to see this right now. I got to cut this. Something, I don't like that green candle at all. I'm immediately getting out. Yeah, definitely dumb trade for me, man. I'm in and out, you know. We could start to rip up. If we get over the VWAP, I'll probably go long. But we lost a very small amount there, guys, just to clarify. Yeah, again, it doesn't matter. Look, this is jobless claims unemployment. Let me put this data up on screen. So jobless claims unemployment is out. I'll put it up in chat right now. There's the numbers here. So you can see the jobless claims numbers right here. This is the numbers here. Maybe the high prices paid scared people. But yeah. NASDAQ is starting to get strength. First move, wrong move here. Again, we did show up higher than expected. I was thinking maybe the prices paid is scaring people here. I also have to look at, make sure Heg, Seth, or Kane didn't say anything. But yeah, jobless claims 207 versus...
I'm going to sound like a dummy here, but I'm okay with it. What is prices paid?
Prices paid is how much they're paying for prices, sir. Hold on. Real quick. Hold on. I'll get to it. I jumped in on another short here. And man, I am just trading dumb today, guys. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I got to be transparent. I'm in this. You don't love to see it. But I am just trading dumb.
Dude, I believe in you. I got your back.
Make fun of my trades today, guys. Make fun of my trades today.
I think you could turn it around.
I think I can too. Hexa says Iran is still motivated to keep the ceasefire intact, though. This is definitely revenge trading. Honestly, after this, I'll probably switch accounts. I don't want to give too much back here. But yeah, jobless claims did show up higher than expected here. You know what? I'm going to cut this, and I'm just going to get out. I should have bought this dip, really. It was good data. I should have bought the dip. I'm going to go to my other funded account, as I like to call it, my stepchild account.
The one you neglect.
Yeah, no, that's right. It really is. It really is that one. It really is. I should have bought this.
Everyone point and laugh.
That's what it feels like right now, man. That's how I feel. I'm like, man, dude, I knew it. And look, I got in. I've been trying to trade some of this, but I deserve this, guys, is basically what I'm saying. Good data going short. Good is relative, my friend. Good is relative. And I think, honestly, the market's kind of, like, rippy back up and down sideways here. I think a lot of stuff is depending on the, like, what happens in Lebanon. I think we might still go down here, to be honest, but... Interesting reaction to jobless claims. The jobless claims cooled a little bit.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we came in better than expected. So, jobless claims cooled. Stock market's at all-time highs still. You know, maybe Bull probably had a better argument.
Oh, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think like my 2 correct guesses in a row probably means I'm some kind of prodigy.
I think you are, bro. I think you are, dude. You know. Yeah, you're like Brink with rollerblading. You know.
Totally.
I'm like Team X Blades today. You know, that's me. Well,
like,
right now.
To be fair, like throughout most of the movie, they were the winners. You know,
they were. Look, they were. They had more experience too, but you know, they're just greedy. I think that's me today.
Yeah. That was a great childhood movie.
Oh yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Honestly, we're starting to go back down. My short idea might have been correct here, though.
By the way, was it you who told me they're making a sequel to Grind?
They are. They are making a sequel to Grind. Yeah, Williams is speaking right now. Williams says Middle East war already lifting inflation, seeing emerging signs of supply chain disruption. Swift end of the conflict should help ease inflation pressures. And the New York Fed services business activity for April should have been negative 14. Now, last time it was negative 20. But yeah. Let's see what happens here. But Williams is speaking right now. Also, guys, we're going to do a little bit of strategy talk right now. So let's talk about this. NASDAQ is going down, dude. The short idea was correct. I should have done it, Brent. I should have stayed in this position here, you know?
I'm pretty sure I tried to tell you, but even if I didn't, I'm going to say I did.
The chat tried to talk me out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody pointed and laughed at me when I shorted.
And for all you know, they're still pointing and laughing.
This mug is correct today, guys. Look at this mug right now. So,
What to say? I can't see.
it says L on it.
Like L7, Sandlot.
Weenie. Yeah, that's me today.
Probably off your game because you need to roll, you know?
I do need a roll, bro. I didn't go to jiu-jitsu yesterday. I wanted to train. My son had poetry. He did great. He did great. I'm pretty sure somebody pressured him into poetry. I'm not against you if you're a poet. I'm not. If you like poetry, live your life. One of my favorite quotes is truth. The truth is like poetry, and most people effing hate poetry. One of my favorite quotes. I'm not a poetry guy personally. I'm pretty sure my son gets 0 F's about poetry as well. But still, shout out to the poets in the chat.
Overall, I don't like it, but I've heard a few that I do really enjoy over the years. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the one at the end of Parks and Rec. But that was a really good one.
No, I haven't. The NASDAQ is falling down here, though, guys. The NASDAQ is falling down. Yeah. Now you know how the chat felt throughout the week. I know, man. The tides have turned. You know.
Tables have shifted. A couple of mixed metaphors there.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not the sharpest tool. I'm not the sharpest shoe in the box today, guys. I'm not the sharpest shoe in the box. You know. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed. Okay.
Not the sharpest crayon in the box.
That's right. That's right. NASDAQ's coming down though. I should have held my short position here. Yeah. It might be. Yeah, it might be. All right, guys. NASDAQ is still sideways here. Oil is up to 91.80, so oil's actually been going up a little bit. I think Williams speaking, he's talking about inflation worries from the Iran conflict is probably what's driving this. But yeah, I don't know what to do here. I think for the day, what I need to do is I need to start entering small and then only adding to it when it goes in my favor. I think that's probably the right move. And again, if you haven't already, check out Lucid, guys. Lucid, great options for fun. I like Lucid because it's a really good mix of everything. Realistically, really good mix of everything. I had a payout processed on Lucid last week, and they processed it in 1 minute. And most day traders lose money, guys. Like, most day traders are going to lose. If you fund your account $2, $3, $4, $5, $20, $30,000, however much you fund your first account, however much you fund it, the honest answer is you're probably going to lose whatever you funded it on. And it makes no sense to actually do that. Instead, try Lucid. They give you a demo. They test your skill with it first. You lose that, you only lose what you pay for the demo account, which is usually less than $100, depending on which account you choose. If you pass it, they fund you the same amount. So if it's a 25K account, you get funded 25 grand. If it's a 50, 100K, you get funded that much. 90% split, 10 to 1 micro scaling, and more. So I really like it for my style of trading. A great way to learn. And again, they process payouts very, very, very quickly. If you want to check out Lucid, I'll include the link. You can also use coupon code BGT to get the max discount. The max discount. I'll include that link right here. Again, here's the Lucid link. I'll put it to the top of the chat. They are an affiliate of mine. Of course, I am biased. I get paid by them. But there's the link right here. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Do it now, guys. Do it now is what I'm saying.
Is Lucid the one that gave you a 1 minute payout?
Yeah, it is. It processed my payout in literally 1 minute. And I got the account in my You know, I got that money in my account basically that quick as well. You know.
I wonder how they can be that efficient and nobody else is.
Big Gary talks money. If it's Gary from SpongeBob, maybe, you know.
Gary?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of...
the snail.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be the Gary he's talking about. So, again, Hegseth says the U.S. president has a good relationship with the Chinese president, Xi. Honestly, though, we're very choppy again today, guys. We're just not really moving that much. You can kind of see how sideways the action is in the NASDAQ. Oil's still pushing a little higher, though. So, we will see what we get.
Yeah, Mom, I wasn't bad nothing.
The good news says if jobless claims is lower than expected, why is the NASDAQ dipping down? Because probably inflation concerns, realistically, right? Like the price is paid for, I think Britt asked this earlier, the price is paid for the Philly Fed Index. He said, what is it? It measures the change in the cost of materials and goods for manufacturing firms. So it's inflationary pressure. And so a higher prices paid thing for the Philly Fed Index does signal some inflation. And, you know, that mixed with lower claims can signal fears over inflation here. If we take a look at yields, right, like let's see how yields are moving from this report, right? So here's yields. Here's 10-year Treasury yields. I'm assuming they're going to be going up a little bit from this report. Yeah, they're up a little bit from this report, although they are kind of flat here. Let's take a look at 2-year yields. But the prices paid number is probably scaring some people.
So that's just an average. That's just an average, like a cost average across like all materials and.
Yeah, it's not. It's only for. It's not all districts, basically. It's not all. It's not encompassing. It's just like a handful of them, but it does measure. Yeah, it measures the change in input goods and materials for manufacturing firms. You know, so people use it as an inflationary gauge, like how much inflation is rising. If we look at 2-year yields, yeah, 2-year yields are up from this report as well. So that's probably what the market is reading, is just inflationary pressures, worries, and concerns about inflation.
I have another question, just so I have a possible benchmark for my learning curve. How long did it take you, doing this every day before you got as well versed as you are now?
I mean, doing it every day, years. I always tell people years. Years is what it takes. It takes years. It's one of the reasons these prop firms are useful, is because most day traders are going to lose for their first few years, really. Like realistically, for years, most day traders are going to lose. And so it's one of those things where it took years. It takes years generally. And you just kind of have to condition yourself through repetition to handle the emotional swings that come from it. The hardest thing to manage is the emotional swings. And so that is really what drives losses most of the time, is emotional swings. Like me earlier, I revenge traded here. So even now, I'm not perfect at it. Like every trader makes mistakes. Every trader's going to lose funded accounts too. Like no trader's going to keep on to a funded account like forever. Eventually they're going to lose. We are getting a pretty significant drop here, though. I'm trying to see if there's any news related to this. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Okay.
Hegseth says China assured us it won't send things to Iran during the ceasefire.
Well, no. I mean, if they can get their oil.
Yeah. The IEA announces that Europe has just 6 weeks worth of jet fuel remaining. That news came out much earlier, though. He said, Hegseth said Iran's supreme leader is believed to be hurt but alive. He also said we would welcome other countries coming in to help with the strait.
I don't think anybody will, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. How long did it take you guys to be profitable, guys? What do you guys think? Takes 1 to 2 years to make 10K real, 6 months to multiply that. When I learned to sell properly, it helped. Yeah, for sure.
So when I learned to what properly?
Sell.
Okay.
Like get out of losses, probably.
Okay.
All right, so the Nasdaq is falling down somewhat here. See what happens. We got the opening bell coming in 45 minutes or so. Oil's continuing to push higher here as well. 5 to 7 years, takes 5 years, 6 years.
I gotta say, guys, I really appreciate you guys answering my questions.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, I will go ahead and take credit for the chat answering. You know, you're welcome, Britt. You're welcome. It took me 2 years. Faye says, yeah, 5+ years. Chris says, 8 years. Still struggling. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Again, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. And this part can be our part of what I call, this is really cheesy, but it was almost intentionally cheesy. This is what I call, hold on, wait.
It's a weird name.
Strategy time. Okay, strategy time. Freaking AI, dude. AI is making me the greatest things ever here. It's strategy time today, guys. We're going to start doing this about 15 minutes before 9 a.m. Look, strategy in day trading is very simple. You have to condition yourself to make the right decisions. And that's not always going to happen, even though you condition yourself to. I always explain it like Pavlov and the dog. You got to do the right things over and over again. Eventually, it becomes second nature. I'm not saying you don't slip up sometimes, because everybody knows I slip up the most out of everybody. You know, I'm like, you know,
top 3.
Yeah, I'm the top 3 most slipping person ever sometimes. But most people understand, like, that's a natural part of day trading. If you can make the right decisions most of the time, you can still make a lot of money in day trading. Anyways, going back to actual trading strategies, I think a lot of people miss out on this. One of the things that, you know, made my channel a little bit bigger was the volume weighted average price. Like, I have a lot of content on the VWAP here and that we've been publishing for years. And you can see one of the useful things about the volume weighted average price, it's this purple line right here, is that it stays stationary, not stationary, it's consistent regardless of which chart you put it on. And so the volume weighted average price will be on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 10 minute, the whatever chart you put on, it's going to be the same price level. And so you can even see here what the volume weighted average price does is it indicates the trend that we're currently in. You know, we could be in a sideways trend, we could be in a choppy trend, we could be in a bullish trend, bearish trend. The volume weighted average price is going to help identify what the trend specifically is here. And so here's a good example of it, right? Like when we're kind of choppy back here, we're kind of just crossing over and under this level. And I would say that's kind of what the market is looking like right now, although I would say it's bullish. So if the market's kind of chopping over and under the volume weighted average price, that's signifying a sideways choppy trend. If the market is trending over the volume weighted average price like it did here, that's signaling a bullish trend. And you can see in that period of time, the volume weighted average price acts as kind of a pivot point. So we break out of the sideways trend, we start to go bullish, and we pull back to where the volume weighted average price level and then continue. This is what I call a VWAP bounce. You know, we've been covering this strategy 5+ years now. Very simple strategy. You just wait for a trending market, look for a pivot to the VWAP, and then, you know, set a risk level. I usually like to set a risk level at a confirmed area underneath the volume weighted average price, so maybe like a previous high up here, which will give me a smaller risk, and then I target the other high up here, so a larger reward and a smaller risk, if that makes sense. Like, here's my risk level, here's my reward target, and yeah, that's how I usually approach these. Everybody's different. The ideal situation is you want to get a smaller risk than a reward. And again, in that situation, this would have worked, obviously. It's hindsight. We can look at it today even and see, like, right now, the volume weighted average price, along with, like, the 200 exponential, we mostly have a sideways trend, but this big red action that we had earlier this morning did push us in a longer-term downward trend, right? If we put, like, a 5-minute chart up here, a 15-minute or a 10-minute, here's a 5-minute chart. You can kind of see that a little bit cleaner here. And so over the last few hours here, at least, I would say we've been in a slightly downward trend. You know, we're underneath the volume weighted average price, and you can kind of see that breaking here and move back up to that level and then rejecting back down here. So that's going to be one of the milestone levels I have on my chart for both the S&P and the Nasdaq today, is that VWAP level here. We also look at the 200 exponential a lot, although the 200 exponential is a longer term moving average. So it is going to be a little bit more below us. But again, the S&P actually over the VWAP right now, slowly climbing back higher here, but it's not moving too much. The Nasdaq, a little bit more tech heavy underneath the 200 exponential and the VWAP. So we'll see if we hold. We'll see if we hold. But
so why do you need to use both of them?
well, more data is generally good. Like, okay, we get these periods of time in which we could look at these like milestone areas. So like right now we have both of these levels above us, right? We get over, some people are looking at just the 200 exponential. Some people are looking at just the volume weighted average price, right? When both of them are around the same spot, we can have a little bit more weight on them, right? So it's like, okay, if they're both around the same spot, maybe we reject cleanly, or maybe we break over these levels and markets decide to get more optimistic now that we're over some of these really big milestone levels, you know. And people like to watch different levels with moving averages. Some people watch the 9 moving average short term, the 12. Those are really short term and really hard to predict. But with the longer term moving average, like the 200 exponential, a lot of people are paying attention to it. So not just day traders, but investors are watching it. Algorithms use it. And so it's just a milestone level that we can pay attention to. We use a little bit of both. And so an example
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, so basically they both just kind of reinforce each other in terms of accuracy.
Yeah, Faye says it right. Stacked confluences for more confident trades, right? Like you stack different levels together. A lot of people get really one-dimensional with their levels here, where they're just watching, like with trading, some people are really one-dimensional. They're just watching one indicator or one level, and that can work. Like you can make that work. Some people definitely can make that work. But I think a lot of profitable trading is more so using a bunch of different levels and data from different levels to combine to get one broad trade plan, you know. So we're using the VWAP, we're using the 200 exponential. I'm using the volume profile a lot of the time to see where the volume is stacked up as well. And so we're using a bunch of different levels to try to dictate which direction we take the trade and where we enter and where we exit, to try to give us the best ideal setup. Sometimes I'm better than others. Other times, you know. Some days I'm just doing well, some days I'm not, and that's normal. The part of trading that really gets most people is you don't want to spiral out of control, you know, in regards to losing days. Like the hardest thing for most traders is to accept a loss, and I think it really is important. This is why I like trading multiple different accounts, is because if I lose too much in one account, instead of continuing to push to where I hit my max loss in that one account where I'm just pushing, instead I can pivot to another account and just trade that different account, if that makes sense, right? And that way I keep my losses individually on each account less, and so I don't spiral out of control. One thing that happens to a lot of traders is that they lose, they get frustrated, they take bigger size revenge trade like I did earlier, they lose more, and then they let that loss spiral out of control here. We do have a very small green trade right now. This looks news driven though.
So basically it's the same kind of behavior that you see in the casino.
Right, exactly. It happens a lot. When people spiral out of control, they lose, they keep pushing when they shouldn't. I'm going to add to this and then hold this break even, guys. So I'm going to add to this and then hold this break even. See if we can break down some more here, but just mostly hold this break even. And
thanks for the explanation. And thank you, Faye. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Again, you guys know me. I don't claim to be an expert or a guru or anything like that. Like, I'm not. That's not what I'm here for. Like, I think most day traders are going to lose, and you have to understand that and understand kind of what it takes. But all right, guys, we're gonna hold this mostly flat. I do like the range we're in now, and I think we got a chance to train down here. But if we start to rip up here like this, I'll give it 1 second up here. My risk level is like 405 or so. So, hands over the cover button now. We just completely reversed all the way back up. Kind of a choppy day here, really. Yeah, I'm going to start to cut that. And we are going to cut this. We almost cut it. So we're actually green on this trade, but my average is a little worse now, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm learning that myself, Faye. It's a completely different type of information to absorb.
Yeah, it is, you know. And again, this is why, like, look, if you want to check out Apex, if you want to learn and have different accounts, Apex has their sale still going on right now. Shameless plug here, shameless plug. Of course, I'm biased, but Apex, end of day drawdown options, no payout denials, no MAE rule, no 5-1 rule, built-in scaling, 50% consistency. Cheapest accounts, $19.90 for the cheapest account they have, which is very cheap. $20 per challenge account is very cheap. If you pass this, you get a 25K funded account. I think you get to keep 100% of your profits too. I think the 50K account end of day drawdown option is probably the best bang for your buck here. At $35 if you use my coupon code BGT. And again, you can use them all the major ones. I'll put the Apex link up here as well if you want to help support the channel. So we are back green in this trade, even though the net profit here on this one isn't necessarily green. But we are still breaking down here. But yeah, if you want to check out Apex, here is the link. They are an affiliate of mine, of course. Like I said, I'm biased, but I genuinely think it's useful. You can use BGT at Apex. Take profit is good for beginners as well if you want a good beginner friendly one. There's the Apex links right there. Or hold on, actually double posted this. Hold on. There you go. Coupon code BGT at Apex. They're doing 90% off right now.
I like that you pass your experience on for free. Like, that's a really good business model. I mean,
yeah, it really is. Well, my whole channel was started because when I started trading live, everybody's a guru, everybody's a genius. And half of these guys are just straight up freaking lying to you. They're just pretending.
Just a get rich quick, buy my program type thing.
Right, like, hey, buy my course, buy my service. We're never going to admit to losses. We're only going to bring attention to winners. And I think the market was saturated with that when I got started. That's why I called the channel beginner trading. It's like, I was like, these guys are all like I'm just going to be real with people about it. And
basically in the beginning, it was, learn with you, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so again, I'm probably going to cut this here. My stop loss is right around here. We're just not really trending. The last few days have been tough. I don't think I stuck around longer. Yeah. Yeah, again, Jordan says, remember when looking at charts, there are a million other traders looking at the same chart. Absolutely, right? One tweet can swing the momentum, right? 100%. And it really is a situation in which you have to understand. People like to make things really complicated, right? The reason I like the 200 exponential, the reason I like the volume weighted average price is because they're obvious on the chart. A lot of traders are watching the volume weighted average price. A lot of traders are watching the 200 exponential. And so what does that mean? That means more people base their trades around those levels. And because of that, they're a little bit more confirmed as like important levels. They're a little bit more relevant because more people are paying attention to them. And more people are in turn basing their trades around them.
Okay.
I'm probably going to wait till the opening bell down. We might take a small trade here or there. But again, the logic of my trades today now is just going to be get in small, add to it if it goes in my favor like I did on the last one, and then cut it roughly break even like I did. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is people like to make trading really, really, really complicated. You look for relevant levels that other people are paying attention to. Volume weighted average price, 200 exponential on a 1 minute chart, majors confirm support and resistance. The volume profile shows you what people are paying attention to as well and basing their trades around and taking trades. And so you're all looking for where the clusters of interest are. And when you boil it down to it, that's really what it is. The more obvious it is, technicals are self-fulfilling. So the more obvious it is, the better it is to pay attention to.
How many monitors do you have, John?
2.
Okay.
I have a 49-inch ultra wide monitor, so it's really wide. It's really wide. And then the top one is just a 37-inch or something like that.
Okay. I was just curious. Someone in the chat asked, and I was curious myself.
Yeah, and I see some people mention the orb is good. Yeah, the orb is good. You know why the orb is good? Going back to what I just said, the opening range breakout is good. Why? Because people freaking pay attention to it. People pay attention to the opening range breakout. The 15-minute orb works the best because it has the most consolidation of interest. Like, the most people are watching the 15-minute. Like, and I know people like to push the hour, and the hour ones are good too. They have a lot of consolidated interest just because it's longer term time frame. But we're talking about, like, if we're talking about opening bell strategies, so many people watch the 15-minute orb. So many people watch the 15-minute. And so that's one of the big reasons it works, is because so many people are looking for it. It's self-fulfilling. It works because other people think it works, you know. And once you understand that, you understand to start kind of watching obvious levels. Like, you start paying attention to the obvious things that other people see. So what's your favorite strategy, guys? Let me know in chat.
I'll let you know when I develop one.
Yeah. And it also goes back to psychological levels as well here. Like, psychological levels, again, all-time highs are probably the biggest psychological level. All-time highs, very relevant because everybody's watching all-time high breaks. Like yesterday, you know, everybody was looking at all-time highs. And I'll say it once, I said this earlier, I think the single biggest, I told Britt this yesterday while I was playing Xbox with him, but the easiest trade you could ever probably make here, realistically, and again, I'm going to preface this with, I am not an investment professional. Nothing works 100% of the time. Again, I come from like poker, and so I can have aces. Right, I can have aces and lose to 7-2 offsuit in poker, right? But long term, if I take aces and I wait and I'm patient and I make the right plus EV decisions, I'll make money generally. And it's the same thing with trading. You know, one of the most easy high percentage setups, it definitely doesn't come around a lot, is just waiting for us to get within a decent range of all-time highs and then riding the range up to that all-time high level. I don't like the break of all-time highs. I don't like riding it up after all-time highs. I like riding the range up to the all-time high level once we get close enough to get people excited. And I think if you understand the psychology of that, when we start to get close to all-time highs, again, the biggest milestone level on any chart, you start to get close to all-time highs, people start getting excited. More people start paying attention to it. More people are like, yo, we're going to break all-time highs. It's time to break all-time highs. And so as we get close to those levels, again, we don't always break them, but generally we test them. And so if you can wait for those setups, they don't happen a lot, but wait for those setups, ride it up to make the test of all-time highs, really high percentage, really high percentage.
So you're kind of saying because people think we will or think that we might break all-time highs, a lot of times we do, like a self-fulfilling type thing.
Right, it's kind of like a magnet. It gets people excited. You know, the closer we get to all-time highs, the more bullish people get because they understand that, like, they understand if we get very close to all-time highs, it becomes incredibly probable we're at least going to tap that level, test it, get close to it, whatever. You know, and so when you understand that dynamic, again, I'm not telling you what to do. A lot of people just sit around, wait for us to get close to all-time highs, take big size, have a really high percentage setup, sell when we get around the, like, when we get really, really close to all-time highs, they sell, or at all-time highs, they sell, and that's their system. And I'm not even mad at that system. You know, like, it's not going to work every time. Sometimes we get really close to all-time highs and then come back down. But this especially works well if we haven't been around the all-time high in a long time. So if we haven't tested all-time highs in 6 months to a year or longer, that's when it becomes super high percentage, because it's been so long since we've been to this level. People understand, hey, we're getting back up there. We're getting back up there. And granted, news could come out and push us right back down. Anything could happen. There's variance with trading. It makes the most sense to attack that dynamic a lot of the time. So,
you think anybody's ever successful long-term, like instinctual trading as opposed to like just being purely data driven?
What do you mean instinctual?
I'm trying to think how to put this. Like looking at the data, but not necessarily analyzing it in depth, just kind of going off a feeling is what I mean. Maybe that's not a very good question, to be honest with you. But
I mean, look, some people can do it. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to go back to the poker analogy. Some people play poker and they don't play like game theory optimal. They don't play ICM. They don't play a specific strategy. They just go by feelings and they go by, you know, but what I would say is that those people are still going by the data. It's just kind of subconsciously, like they're looking at the data still, but they're just not registering it in their head like that. So they're still playing off of the same similar strategies. They're just not, they're not registering it in their head. Like basically, like people can trade that way. They might make the right decisions, but they're still using the data. They're just not doing it.
It registers, but they're not thinking necessarily too deeply about it.
Right, correct. Yeah. Like, they're still analyzing the data here. They're just not, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't really go off of feelings. Feelings are really the account killers in trading. And so feelings can just destroy your account in trading. You have to go by setups, and really you have to go by long-term account preservation. All right, so I did see news that recently dropped that Google is negotiating an agreement with the Department of Defense that would allow the Pentagon to deploy Google's Gemini AI models in classified settings, according to the information. See what Google's doing here. Google's ripping up on this news, potential deal with the Department of Defense. I thought it was Department of War now. Intel has also launched its Core Series 3 processor, which will become available in the second quarter of this year. But yeah, Google moving up. This is probably boosting markets right now.
By the way, I think it was the Department of War before the 1960s as well.
Yeah, it was, I think.
And whoever asked earlier, we don't play COD.
Not really. I mean, I play a little bit, but, you know.
Like the older COD games were better. They seemed a little more serious.
Yeah, they were. If you invest in good companies, only you will make money. Oh, if you invest in good companies only, comma, you will make money. Yeah. I mean, obviously. If I win the lottery, I'll make a bunch of money too, I think, you know.
No, you're wrong.
If I invested in Amazon in 2007, you know, I would make a lot of money from it, I think. I know, I'm just messing with you. But no, realistically, the single biggest statistical edge is investing. Value investing, you know, compound interest from investing. Like indexes are really, again, I'm not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Half the time I have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you invest in indexes long term, you're almost certain to make money, you know, because if you look at the statistical edge, like here's the SPY. I don't know how long this goes back. Here, we'll put the S&P up. Here's the S&P 500. If you look at the long-term chart, like we have peaks and valleys, but this thing's moving up big percentages long-term. It averages about 10% long-term. Now, if you're retiring imminently, it might not be the best thing to invest in this because this is a risk-on asset if you're retiring imminently. But at the same time, if you're not retiring imminently and you're able to hold for decades, you're almost certain to make money long-term. You can handpick stocks. It's a little riskier, but you can handpick stocks. Diversification is always good generally. Like if you diversify in multiple different asset classes and sectors, then obviously you got a better shot. But really, value investing, buying indexes and sitting on them long-term and dollar cost averaging into them is generally the best move, the highest percentage move. But with day trading, like you can scale it a lot faster, really. And so if you're good at day trading, you can make a lot more money in a shorter period of time versus waiting a long time to make decent percentages. But just to look at the compounding effects, just of it, again, I try to do this at least once a week. But if I look at the compounding effects here, like say you have $100,000 and you invest that into the S&P 500. Let's say you get 1.1, or let's say you get 10% returns annually over time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In 30 years, that 100,000 will turn into about $1.75 million in 30 years. Now, again, I always try to explain to this because there's still kind of an asterisk next to this, because in 30 years, 1.7 or $1.75 million is not going to be nearly the buying power that $1.75 million is today. So there's an asterisk next to this. It's not like you're going to have 1.75 million in today's money. Inflation's going to eat a lot of this, but it is going to help you keep up with inflation. So I did see news that recently dropped that a senior Iranian official have grown frustrated with the plan to generate revenue from shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with little money collected despite expectations of big income. Iran International reports citing sources. They said Iran moved early in the conflict to control traffic through the strait and charged tankers about $2 million per transit, setting up committee led by some of their leaders. But the efforts has produced limited results with only about 60 permits issued, payments requests set for just 8 shipments, and no funds collected so far. So their plan to monetize the strait didn't work is what they're saying here, according to sources. I'm not saying this is true. This is what the sources are saying.
If it is true, I didn't think that that would be uh, tolerated. You can't let that precedent be set. You know?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And oil, with that said, is up a little bit here. Let me see if there's any other breaking news. I don't see anything else out right now. I see some people saying news, but oil is pushing up a little bit ahead of the open. The Nasdaq, I'm guessing, is down.
It's up about $1.10.
Yeah. We're still in a really tight range here, though. John, I thought buying Mag 7 and holding for 20 years is best. Higher risk, high reward doing that. You know, companies change is the problem, especially like in regards to the Mag 7. Like we've seen companies being big in the Mag 7 and then get kicked out of the Mag 7. So there's risks there too, unfortunately.
What's the cap on yearly investment in a Roth IRA? I mean, I know that we weren't talking about that, but isn't it like, is it $5,000 or $7,000?
I'm not sure. Chat, encyclopedia of the chat. All right, look at the Nasdaq come down here, guys. So the Nasdaq did just break under that 200 exponential, and you can kind of see where the top was just in the last 5 minutes. Like we've been talking about the VWAP. Look at this range here. So look at this range, and look at where the top is here. Purple line VWAP. The top is literally at the volume weighted average price for the last hour and a half. So that's a level I'm watching for the opening bell. Is that VWAP level for sure. We'll see if it holds, though. We'll see if it holds. But yeah. Again, jobless claims are out.
And I just want to remind everybody again, I was right.
About jobless claims?
Yeah.
You were? That's true. You were, dude.
I'm going to try to make it a habit. It feels good.
Basically, Brit's better than y'all is what he's saying. I can hear it in his voice, you know?
No one can ever bring me down because I'm the best around.
Right. I believe that. You know? 7,500.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of, I mean, well, not a lot, but several different answers here. 7, 8, 75.
7K. Yeah.
86
Yeah.
if over age 50. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I think Brit's confidence is getting too high, guys. We got to bump him down a notch, you know?
Knock me down a peg.
Right. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I just got to say that guy, Brit, I mean, like, you know, if you do decide to take him down a peg, he really deserves it from what I've heard.
I know. Honestly, I
He's a
heard he's
bad
selling
person.
a course. I heard he's selling a course already, you know?
Beginner trading.
That's right. That's right. That's what I heard, you know. The jobless claims numbers were lower than expected. They showed up for jobless claims again. They showed up at 207 versus 213 expected. 207 versus 213. Britonomics, yeah. We're all trying to get stronger at investing against algorithms.
Britonomics.
Yeah. Brickonomics, in my opinion. You know.
I love it.
Yeah. It's good. It's true, you know. Brit's got to start doing paid speeches now. He's going to tell everybody about how good he did on that one time, you know, that one investment call, you know.
I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book.
Right. That's right. All right, guys, listen, we got 15 minutes into the opening bell. Let's see what the opening bell brings us here. Are you guys bullish or bearish for the opening bell? Let's do a poll here. I think we should do a poll. Did you guys like the strategy time section of the stream here? I'm going to start doing that every day, 15 minutes before 9 at 8:45 market time. We're going to start doing that every single day. I might get a different intro, though. This intro is just a little bit too much here. Like, you know, I mean, I like it. I told AI, I was like, I want a ironically cheesy intro to strategy time, you know. And again, this is what it did to me. This is what it did to me. Look at this. I'll show you guys again. This is what it gave me. It's surprising what AI can do. Industrial production just dropped. It came in at 0.7 versus 1.8% expected. I don't know if this is going to move markets, but industrial production did show up at 0.7 versus 1.8 expected. Capacity utilization showed up at 75.7 versus 76.3 expected. And manufacturing production showed up at 0.5 versus expected 2% year over year. Nasdaq is moving up a little bit. I don't know if it's on this data. Love a strategy time. Hey, nice.
It looks like a it looks like
Yes.
a cheap Netflix game.
Dude, it's honestly too much. Let me get it away here. I'm sorry, guys. Like, it's too big. Like, I wanted just a little banner that would pop up. It's not bad, right? Strategy time is good stuff. Cool, man. Hey.
Britt did ask, what does Charles Schwab produce? It's true, I did. I think I said produce/do because I wasn't sure what they did, to be fair. And so, but I willingly
It's Charles
admit my
Schwab, dude. It's Charles Schwab, bro. It's one of the biggest, like, investing. It's one of the biggest brokerages around. Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade last year. I think it was last year.
And
Maybe it was 2 years ago. But Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade last year.
If I had any experience in this, I would have known that, but I don't. So.
How could you? Yeah, Britt, I'm canceling your public speeches. Your book deal is done. You know.
Again, I humble myself before you guys. I've said it several times, and I'll say it again. I don't know anything about this yet.
Yeah, it's spiraling out of control now, dude. You've lost your book contracts now, Britt. And,
all credibility gone.
The chat will never forget this. They'll never forget it.
I hope they don't. It's funny.
Yeah. All right, guys, look. NASDAQ is sitting right at the 200 exponential. I am watching that, but we're so sideways here. I really do have to wait for the opening bell. Let's see if it holds. But I do see that quote, and this is, again, Haaretz reporting that the Israeli army is preparing to halt combat operations in Lebanon between 1900 and 2400 local time. That's good. I think that's optimistic. If they can, I think there's less worry about the ceasefire breaking if that happens here. Feds Williams is still speaking. They said private credit issues are not a broader financial stability risk. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's obviously somewhat of a risk in terms of broader financial stability, just because it's attached to a lot of banks. Do you guys agree with Williams there? They said private credit issues are not a broader financial stability risk. This is what they just said. I kind of disagree. I'm not saying it's a huge risk, but it's definitely at least a little bit of a risk just because it's connected to banking. Here, I'll put this up. This is what they just said. Right here. If you look at right here, this is what they just said. Yeah.
Why do you disagree?
Yeah, hold on. AMD had some type of catalyst that just come out. Look at AMD pop here. It's at 262s right now. So I'm trying to see the news that broke just now on AMD. AMD did have some type of news come out. Let me see. It's not this news. I don't see anything on the wire regarding AMD. I'm going to have to go to social media to see what this news was. Chat might answer it before I do, but something happened with AMD.
I'd be interested in learning about that, Sam, provided you tell me what it actually entails.
I'm searching for AMD. I don't see anything. Hold on. Okay. All right. AMD is partnering with the French government for AI innovation. Is what I'm showing here. So AMD, France's AI strategy. See, this came out like a while ago, though. Like, I'm showing this news about AMD's France's strategy partnership came out an hour and 10 minutes ago. I don't think this is what's pushing it up, unless some other repeats happened. I see price target was raised about an hour ago as well, but this is all old.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't think it would move it now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think it would either. It must be something else. TSM's starting to rip up too, though. Just in broader chip sympathy. Interesting. Yeah, it could be the price target going up. That's definitely possible. Definitely could be. Yeah, I think it's a big risk regarding the private credit stuff. Yeah. But look, yeah, TSM, they reported earnings this morning. AMD still jumped pretty significantly here. Nasdaq's not moving much though. Yeah, the Nasdaq is still very flat heading into the opening, but we have 9 minutes left, guys. 9 minutes.
Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
Yeah, volume profile is useful. A lot of people scalp off of the volume profile as well.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I use it. Like I said, I use a mix of volume profile, 200 exponential, volume weighted average price, milestone levels, and trends. I usually try to go with the trend most of the time, but I'll use the volume profile for sure in my trading, just generally. So like I'll use it. It's just I use a mix of everything.
Okay.
All right, so Nasdaq is under the 200 exponential. Here we go. We got the opening bell in 8 minutes here, chat. 8 minutes. We'll see what we get for it. What's your opinion on today's bias?
Sorry.
My bias today is neutral, I would say. Like, I think we're up a lot the last 5 days, 6 days, market days, and so my bias today is neutral. I think we could fill some of the gap on the upside and start to cover back down and see selling pressure come in on profit taking, or we could, because we're so close to all-time highs, make another move back up there too. I'm really not sure. I'm kind of neutral on it. What do you guys think? Bullish or bearish bias today, or neutral?
Bullish.
The bears are right now in control though, short term.
Told you I'm an optimist.
I know, man. Listen.
Not
most of the
always.
time
I mean, not to my detriment.
Yeah, most of the time the bulls are right, really, realistically. All right, so I see both bullish, chop, special, slightly bearish, bull until 10 a.m. and then bearish, inverse Brit, so bearish. We're on the lower end of the volume profile right now. Yeah, I mean, we just broke underneath. You know, we have this area right here, so we'll see if that moves. Look at the selling pressure come in, though. I don't know what this is, but let me see if there's any news. Yeah, I don't see anything really driving this.
I consider myself forewarned, Sam. Barring some sort of unforeseen development, all I've got is time. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 5 minutes until the opening bell. Just yeah, choppy day today. Bearish up too much, and Thursday's usually a down day. Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, is Thursday usually a down day?
I mean, it can be. It's not. I would say it's usually anything. I think maybe recently, but I think a lot of stuff's been down recently, aside from the last week. I would normally short this, but I think we're so in a range here. Whoa. Okay, volume on open just happened. Yeah, I was gonna say we're too close to the bell and this might drop. Volume on open just happened. Markets are pushing up on the volume on open here. Look at the move back up here. So we are seeing some buying pressure show up at the opening bell, or close to it right now. Let's see if it holds. Here's the 200 exponential here, right here, at about 420. Let's see if that rejects it. And it did. There's 420. We are starting to reject that level to a certain extent. I'm sitting short, so bearish. I'm not mad at bears right now. Nvidia. Yeah, I mean, this is the market on open data coming out. Yeah, it is surprising how much it works, Blaze. Like, this is why I watch it a lot on the 1 minute chart. I think it's algorithms. The reason it works on a 1 minute chart is because it's algorithms. And so it's not perfect though, you know, like we do break over it underneath it sometimes. But it works enough to give it some edge for sure. Don't want to give the week's profit today. Yeah, I get it. Tight stops. All right, guys. Let's see what we get today.
It's two people inversing me, and I don't appreciate it.
No, that's true.
I don't actually care.
Jim Cramer or Britt? What do you guys think? Jim Cramer.
Who's
or
right
Britt,
more
guys?
often?
Definitely you right now, Britt. You know.
All right. Maybe I can interview for his job.
Yeah. How strong the trend is? Yeah, we'll see. AMD still ripping up. We're at 265s. Yeah. Yeah, here's the opening bell, guys. We got 2 minutes left. AMD just broke highs again. Got up to 265. So AMD's ripping up right now. It's dragging microchip sentiment, including TSM a little bit higher, although TSM pulled back some. If you're wrong 100% of the time, I mean, look, just inverse that and you're rich, you know? Yeah. All right, guys, here we go. Opening bell is upon us. Less than 2 minutes.
When did the random guy on the mic show up? Some people say he's always been here, you know?
Right. He's been here, you know, he just hadn't, you know. He did a vow of silence prior to this, so he just wasn't speaking at all.
Yeah.
But you have to inverse all your second guesses too. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, look, so we're still in this range here, guys. I'm not really super interested in taking any positions right now, obviously. I'm not going to trade the opening bell. I'm going to give it about 5 minutes after the bell and see what we get from it. Yeah. Yeah. Buy silver and gold miners now. All right, so again, we're pushing up. We're at 430s right now, 430s. NASDAQ is starting to still fight higher here ahead of the opening bell. We have 40 seconds left, guys. Hit the live button next to the play button, put it into XP. Let's watch the opening bell today. This isn't an opening bell song. It's quiet. Oh, there we go. No, I don't like that one either. Okay, we can do this one. All right, 20 seconds here, guys. 20 seconds.
What do you think, dip or jump?
I don't know. I'm going to let the opening bell play out. We're kind of in the high volume area of the profile right now, so I'm not really want to take either side. We're going to wait and see. Here's the opening bell. 10 seconds. Less than that, actually. All right, there's the bell, guys. There's the open. Yeah, so again, it's so far we're starting to go down here. AMD actually just ripped up to almost 270s right now. Gold started to dip down. Look at the NASDAQ go all the way back red on the day here, guys. All the way back red. Not red on the day, I'm sorry, but red since the opening bell. Look at this bearish show up here in the market right now, guys, at the open. Wow. It's a lot of bearish action here. We are pushing towards that previous closing price, too. But again, remember, the previous all-time high on the NASDAQ here, I had it on this chart. Like, the previous all-time high is this light green line right here. So... and we're now underneath that level. We're now underneath this level. Are the bears back in town today, guys? If I could trade the open, I might short a little pop here, but it's way too close and I'm not going to do it. But look at this drop at the NASDAQ at the opening bell here, chat. So we are dipping down. Yeah. Next week we'll be coming with the dual heads, Jay.
I was going to clean my room, but then I ran.
Right. Is that I think that's an Afro Man song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, we're starting to pop back higher here. Let's see. Again, if I can trade the open, I'd short this. But it's also incredibly risky and super high variance with it. So we're going to wait. Let's see what happens. But so far, the bears are right. Yeah, Bitcoin is at almost 75,000. So Bitcoin's actually up a little bit since the bell. The NASDAQ is fading down, though. I should have shorted the open, but again, it goes against my rules. I'm not going to do it. But the NASDAQ, deep red. Look at this drop here, guys, on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is deep red at the opening bell. If you look at it on my other chart here, it's even worse. Look. Look at this drop right now. Yikes. Bearish opening.
Oh.
Guys, bearish opening. Let's see if we get a bounce. Again, if I could trade, I'd short this bounce. If we got up to like 400s maybe, but the Bears are in control here at the opening bell. 2 minutes into the day. The Bears are pushing.
All right, well, I'll admit it. I was wrong.
It's a little bit too early. It's a little bit too early.
I was just talking about right at the opening.
Oh, yeah, even that's too early. We got to wait 5 minutes. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move. Sometimes we see a dip and then a rebound back up. And if we do that, maybe it'll be even more confirmed. And we could also get chop today. And so we could have sideways action today.
Yeah.
We did have better than jobless claims numbers, but if there was a joke, I didn't hear it, you know.
I was just adding on to something that Sam said.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, again, we got 3 minutes left until this drops. Or I'm sorry, we're 3 minutes at the OPW. I would short 400s here, but we're not quite there yet. I need to wait another minute. Will I be able to trade this? We have 40 seconds until we can trade it. There's 400s. Dude, if we go up right before I can trade, there's 400s.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to short 400s, but I think it's a little bit too early for me to trade. Oh my goodness, dude. Freaking rules, man. I wanted this short right here. Boo, man. Idea was good, just a little bit too early for me to take it. 400 was a good spot, though. Yeah, that was the previous all-time high, so it makes sense to watch. Yeah. I blame the chat here, though. I blame you guys. Alright, chat. Listen. Most day traders lose money. And so limit your risk with Apex funded accounts. You can use my coupon code BGT, get 90% off. Cheapest accounts in the game right now. Check them out. Again, I'll put this link up. A great way to help support the channel. No PDT run features. Here's the link right here. Man, I'm still kind of mad. Look, just to put this into perspective, guys, I wanted to short it here. I wanted to short it right there. Ugh.
What, did the chat convince you not to again?
I blame the chat. I mean, I didn't say anything about it this time, but I blame chat.
I didn't say anything about it till just now, but...
Yeah. Look, code BGT on Apex gets you 90% off. There's the link right there in the chat. Check it out. Look, 400s. I could have taken it again here, but I don't like the retest. I like the first test only here, which would have made money. The retest is a little bit sketchier. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't work, because it did work right here, 400s. Again, milestone levels, guys. We talked about this in strategy time. Milestone levels, 400, big whole dollar number. Just makes sense. You know, look, we even drew this level. We drew this level at like 3 hours ago. This big light green level here. You love to see it, but you don't love to see it. I was right, but I didn't take the trade. So I don't know if I wanted to completely go up since I didn't miss the trade and just go against what it would have done since I missed it, or build my confidence in my strategy even though I missed it. Honestly, the market's very sideways though. We got a range here. We can wait for the range to break. I'm going to look for an orb setup as well today.
Gotta go up. I needed to.
I blame all my losses on John. That's probably fair.
Out of curiosity, is that name in reference to the philosopher?
John the philosopher, you mean? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I mean, you are a profound philosopher in my eyes, John, but...
I'm known in philosophy circles, you know. Probably. Yeah, I should have taken the 26,400 short. That's the one I want. I missed it. It's okay. We'll look for an orb setup or something like that now. Yeah, you can have up to 20 accounts on Apex as well. I'm a superstitious person. I'm never going to use this mug again, you know. I blame my losses on this mug right here, you know. Self-fulfilling. Self-fulfilling. NASDAQ going down today, guys. NASDAQ dropping. RSI on the Q. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so far we've gone bear since the opening bell. Again, we've kind of pulled back a little bit in profit taking. NASDAQ is down. S&P is down. Dow. Most of these are actually, just to clarify, still green on the day. They're just down since the opening bell. The Dow's doing a little bit better, though. You guys red or green since the opening bell? Look at this rebound back up here. I don't want to short this now. This is the higher area of the volume profile. So if we get over the volume weighted average price and the 200 exponential, I might go long, but it looks like we're rejecting those areas now. First move might be the wrong one. Well, the first move, really we were going up. The opening bell, first move was the downside though. Green. I see some greens in chat. Red, green. Long John Silver. That is my name. Iran told Pakistan that the U.S. must fulfill its commitments, according to Tasnim. Iranian oil tankers have transported 11 million barrels of oil through the Sea of Oman towards their destination since the blockade. New talks of no benefit without a framework first, according to Tasnim. Iran emphasized that the U.S. must drop excessive demands. We're back to the lows here, guys, of the open. Back to the lows. Slightly red, gray, no trades, not trading live, but my algo bot paper is a piece of crap. I know you don't do politics, but do you think the war's over? No, not right now. I mean, I'm optimistic that we get some type of deal done, but as of now, no. NASDAQ just cracked lows here. Not quite lows. And I think it's going to happen, though. We're close enough to it, but maybe not. And let's see if we crack lows. Yeah, let's see. We're very close. Very close.
I still think it'll take a month or two to end the conflict, but I don't think it'll run much past that.
Right. All right, we're really in a sideways range here. We're just not doing anything. Chop suey.
I'm assuming chop is like it sounds, just up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah. Choppy's just choppy. It's, yeah.
Like choppy water.
Yeah. Like just sideways. Not really picking a trend. And that's really what we've done since the opening bell. There's a big green candle, though. Let's see if this is news related. That's a pretty big green candle. Schwab details a spot crypto trading launch. No, that's not it. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, warns Iran against rejecting U.S. proposal focused on renouncing nuclear armament and vows to stage even more painful strikes on new targets if it does so. I think this is moving back up to the top of the range here. Yeah, that 400 level that I talked about was correct. But at this point in time, we're retesting it, and I don't like that at all. If we drop enough and then bounce back up, I might short it, though. I'm going to start very small, though, on the day, guys. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but... Oh, dude, I wanted to... I'm missing my entries today. Big drops coming in on markets, guys. Look at this drop. We get a big enough bounce, I'll short into this too. But all right, that's a decent one. I'm gonna add one contract here. That's it, and then wait. Very small trades. See if we can drop some more. We're kind of at the bottom of the range though, so I don't like it. But there we go. We're almost green. Again, we're keeping it very small here. I just don't really like taking any big size right now. It's too risky. There we go. Anybody surprised the Bears haven't pushed that? I mean, we're down since the open. We're starting to head towards the previous closing price, though, is the thing. Like, we're right at the previous closing price now. We could bounce right here and stay and reinforce green. But we're kind of at the battleground level now. The previous closing price is right underneath us. So the Nasdaq did just go red for a little while today. But we're basically flat on this position. We took some off, and now we're rebounding back up, it looks like, to be honest. But we'll give it a second. Bad price action is bad, though, today. Not easy. I guess I'm shorting this, but we're kind of trying to just get a longer term entry here, and we're not really going in either direction. Basically flat on this trade now. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this here now too. It's just way too choppy. Yeah, the last 2 days have been red. We did pretty good before that, though. I really just gotta sit back and wait, I think. This is not good price action today, guys. We're trying to get in small trades, but they're flat or slightly down in results. You guys red or green today? Again, I don't know if I like any of this price action so far. If we get back over the 200 exponential, that 400 level maybe, then we'll take a position, but we're trading very small right now. Yeah, we're back down. Maybe we could short the top. We are in this high volume area, the volume profile. Also, shameless plug for Tradeify here today, guys. So Tradeify, at some of the cheapest funded accounts in the game. So direct to funded, lightning funded on Tradeify. I might buy one of these like right now, actually. Let me see. Again, we showed you guys this yesterday, but lightning funded on Tradeify here is like 50K lightning funded is $295. The 25K one is only $207. That's very cheap for like this will get you straight to funding. You don't even have to pass the test. They'll just go you straight to funding. Payout frequency every 5 days, 5 max accounts. 20% consistency, no daily loss limit, maximum drawdown. And so I really like the 50K or the 100K option here. It's really not bad. 100K funded account, $396, less than $400. You know, you can use 8 minis, 80 micros. I think that's just reasonable. And so if you want to check it out, again, that's one of the cheaper ways to do it. You can use my coupon code, again, BGT at checkout, get all the max discounts here. Yeah, I'm trying to sit around and wait for something, but it's kind of boring right now, to be honest. Like, we have this range. We can wait for this range to break, and we do have a 15-minute orb set up now. So, again, that's what I'm kind of pivoting to today. Here's the opening range right here. You know, that's the orb set up, to be honest. We'll wait for that. See if we get some good pressure. I just signed up for Take Profit. Very good. Take Profit Trader's great too. I mean, they got a lot of good stuff. You can use my coupon code on all of them, but they're all good at different things.
What platform are you using right now?
This is an Apex funded account. The other one I use is a Lucid funded account. I'm probably gonna buy one of those. Yeah, all good, Jules. I'm probably gonna buy one of those Tradeify ones pretty soon, like direct to funded on Tradeify. You give me an eval, I turn it to a degenerate half the time. Alright, so we're starting to drop here. We have the orb set up. The low of the orb is about 345, 26,345. So. Yeah, I follow my rules in my funded accounts, and evals, I'm like freaking degenerate John. You know. All right, we're at 375s right here on the Nasdaq. Brit will be taking evals eventually.
Yep, I just need a little more education and a lot more practice.
Yeah, for sure.
But in the meantime, John, what's your favorite John Hughes movie?
John Hughes movie?
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, probably.
I love that one. Epic soundtrack.
Yeah, probably Breakfast Club.
For me, it's either that or and Trains and Automobiles.
Yeah, that one's good. That one's stressful to watch, though. Like, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I like it. It's funny, but it's also stressful to watch. All right, guys, look, we're starting to break down towards the bottom of this orb. Very sideways, choppy, neutral range. Like, you can see how sideways the market is right here. We're just not really doing anything. Is the orb orbing? Well, we got a range for sure. Here's the opening range, you know. So we are now pushing down towards the bottom of this opening range setup. Yeah, oil. I'm checking news right now to see if we got any breaking news that's moving markets. There's an earthquake that just happened, but that's all I'm showing.
Where?
South of the Kermadec Islands.
Oh, I know right where that is.
Yeah, me too, dude. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Yeah, me too, bro. Yeah. I know where that is. Don't ask me, but I know, you know.
Just trust me.
Yeah, look, the Nasdaq's starting to get back down towards the bottom of that orb.
Thanks, Checka. I'd like to see me do that too.
All right, here we go. We're getting towards the bottom of the orb setup here. Let me see if we get a bounce. I'll take it. But give me 365s. We'll start small though. There's the break. So the orb just set up, just broke. Now we'll look for a retest at 350s, maybe 355s is what we're going to look for. But we did just break the bottom of this opening range breakout on the 15-minute chart. So we did just break the bottom of the orb setup. Let's see if it holds. I'm looking for 350s, 355s. We're at 340s, 330s. And sometimes you get a pullback that gives you some, like, a good entry. Sometimes you don't. I need the pullback, though. I don't like entering right on the break. It's too risky to do so. If we break down more, we'll just look for another pullback here. U.S. Trade Representative Greer is going to travel to Mexico on Monday amid USMCA talks, according to Mexico's economy minister. All right, so we're still breaking down. The orb setup broke, but we're just... I need a dip. I need a rebound, I mean, to take it. I'm not going to blindly buy it on the break of the orb setup. Yeah, see if we pop. Here's a little bounce, not a lot, but a little bit. Still breaking down here. We just never got the pullback entry. Look at this flush. So we are dipping down now.
What do you think's causing this?
We can look at oil to see kind of the oil impact here, really. But it looks like there's something going on. Oil's ripping up to 93s. Nasdaq's falling down, so... I mean, I think it's just profit taking, maybe some potential deterioration in the sentiment regarding U.S. and Iran. Again, Iran's planned Hormuz toll is going to be paid via Iranian banks, according to ISNA. There's 300s, though. Big psychological level of 300s. Hey, nice B. Blaze. Alright, we're still just breaking down. There's just no entry here. The orb broke. The orb broke at 345s. And you can see we've had a really big move down since the opening range breakout broke.
Sorry.
Dude, how dare you curse on the stream, bro? Take it back.
I have been trying. I have been trying not to.
No, you're good, dude. It's funny because I'm telling Britt this, but he doesn't he understands how much I curse when the stream's off. You know.
Yeah. Still not as much as me, but
I don't know. I disagree. Maybe Nasdaq's still down at 280s. We're still cracking lows here. Let me make sure. I don't see any news on the tape here, so I don't see any news on the tape driving this. Could just be some sell-offs. I see that Live Squawk reposted something that said, to my understanding, there are telling signs that there is no deadlock anymore in the media to U.S.-Iran talks. But that would be optimistic here. And markets are moving down the opposite way here. Oil's pushing higher. Nasdaq's dipping down some. So, oil. Look at oil spike right now, guys. So here's the Nasdaq, and here's oil.
Well, it would be optimistic, depending on who the deadlock broke in favor of. You know.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So someone said Bitcoin is dumping. Is it?
Bitcoin's down to 73s, so it's down for sure. Since where we looked at it, yeah, it's kind of Bitcoin does kind of follow macro markets a lot of the time. Now here's Bitcoin. It does kind of follow macro markets. We are getting our first little rebound bounce here. I need a much stronger bounce though. Like I could take 325s, but I'd rather realistically, I'd rather 350 to 360 here. 325s might reject us though, and if I miss that one, I'm just not doing good in terms of trades today. Yeah, there's 325s. Again, 325 is the one I could reject short term. And there it goes. Oh man, here's 325. Yep. Yeah, I'm just missing all my entries today, dude. I'm calling them out. Like the levels I'm talking about are holding, but maybe maybe I'm being too strict with my entries today. But look at exactly 325, dude. Ah, it hurts. It hurts. Look, here's 325. This mug is self-fulfilling today. Yeah.
See you later, Sam.
Yeah, trading is like jujitsu. And that some days when I go trade, I'm like, dude, I am the greatest blue belt ever. You know, I'm choking out everybody. You know, applause rains from the sky.
Shades of BJ Penn.
Yeah, that's right. The prodigy. And then other days I just get absolutely destroyed. And I'm like, dude, I suck at jiu-jitsu. The second one's probably the most true. But I feel like that in trading today. Some days I'm like, hey, I'm a great trader. And other days I'm like, dude, I freaking suck at trading. Yeah, look, it hurts even more today because I called out 25. There's 25 right there. I didn't take it, but I called it out. I called out 40. I called out 400. 400 is literally right here. It was the top of the whole price action we've had, like, most of the morning over the last hour or so. Yeah, markets are red so far at the opening bell. And again, the Nasdaq is now technically red on the day, just to clarify. So the Nasdaq, the NQ is technically red. Oil is now green on the day, and the Nasdaq is red. So, yeah, good job, Jeremy. If you made money, good job, dude. Let me make sure we don't have any 10 a.m. data here. I don't think we do. No, we don't. Okay, good. Here's 10 o'clock, though. A lot of people think we get like a big sell-off at 10 o'clock. Somebody said we would go up until 10 and then down after 10. Really, we've gone down up until 10. Let's see if we start to reverse at 10. Best ticker to look at oil on TOS is /CL. If you're talking about an equity symbol, you know, you could look at like USO or something like that, but /CL is going to be WTI crude. Yeah, I didn't get to train yesterday. Or I didn't get to train yesterday. I was going to go train. But then my son had poem day. Again, my son gets 0 Fs about poetry. You know. His was good, though. I mean. Alright, guys. NASDAQ is at 26,318s. Give me 50, maybe 55 or 60, and I'll short. But here's 25. Why red? Red, we're probably red. I don't know if I'm seeing any news about deterioration in sentiment regarding the Middle East. I think we're red because the market pushed up so much over the last 5 days, and now we got some profit taking occurring. Oil is dipping down, though. It did just tap 93s.
Good. I hope it keeps going. Go.
That 25 level still holding. Yeah, 25 held. There's not enough meat on 25 though. Like it actually, with the range of the open, maybe there is, but 300 could cause us to bounce. At least we broke out of the chop. Rubbish again, idiots. Is that Miss Trenchbowl in the chat? I think it is. NASDAQ up to 26,300s here. There's past 10 a.m. Did anybody make money on the downside today, on the short side? Who made money on the short side? You are the envy of me. You know. I wanted to short, I just didn't do it. It looks like Cato made money on the short side. Blaze, I see your hand there. You know, I'll give you your chat flowers. You know. This is for you, Blaze. All right. All the shorts, there's your flowers in chat right here. Look. That's you right there. You're welcome. You know. I made $12. $12 is good. 30 bucks? Hey, that's good too. I did. I'm green. Yeah. Now's your time to brag, guys. Now's your time to brag. You know. Britt was wrong. Y'all were right.
I'm still 2 out of 3. Yeah.
66%. Yeah, that's decent. You know.
Also, smash the like button, guys. I just want to see if we can get to 300. I know it's maybe a long shot, but
yeah.
But I would appreciate it.
$1,000. I'm treating myself with a Happy Meal, dude. It's been so long since I've had a Happy Meal.
Yeah, me too. I don't really eat McDonald's, although I do love the chicken nuggets.
If I eat McDonald's, I haven't eaten it in years, any of it. But I used to love the breakfast. McGriddles. Give me a McGriddle all day. I'll eat it every day for breakfast.
The breakfast is fire. I get just a plain sausage biscuit with like 3 hash browns.
Yeah, for sure. Get in the chokey. Somebody understood the Miss Trenchbowl reference, dude. I appreciate that. Who is it?
Oh, you meant Miss Trunchbowl.
Miss Trunchbowl. Yeah. What was the kid's name? With the chocolate cake? No.
Oh God. What was it? Frankie or something like that?
What was it, dude? The chat
Bruce. It was Bruce. You're right,
Bruce. Right. Yeah. All right, so we rejected exactly at 25, psychological level. Also the end of this high volume area, the volume profile. Do we have news? What's the news? Not really. Like we have some news that's releasing regarding potentially talks done between Israel, PM, and other stuff. Real quick here though, guys. So here's what a couple things just happened about 20 seconds ago. One of them was that the head of the Iran economy desk said the conflict over the Strait of Hormuz and Bab al-Mandab is a rivalry over the region's energy future. He emphasized that in the Middle East, oil is a, quote, tool of power. The China Foreign Ministry also said the U.S.-Israel war against Iran threatens energy, Strait of Hormuz shipping security in a statement. None of this is really moving things, though, I don't think. We are back over 325 here, but let's see if we get 350s. Maybe 355s or 360s is what I actually prefer. I've been saying this all day, and then the original entry I wanted at 350, you know, if we go by the current trend, 350 is going to reject exactly. I do like 355 to 360 though, because it's right around the previous closing price. The 200 exponential is above us. You could also look at 375. I don't think Trump's speaking right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Trump's not speaking right now, actually.
Losing all-day breakfast at McDonald's is one of the worst things that happens. I honestly, like, that was terrible. That was just like a loss for mankind.
Hold on. Is Trump speaking right now? I don't
know. Let me look.
He might be, actually. You might be right. I might be wrong. But I would get quotes from him if he was. Like, I don't see any quotes from Trump right now. So I don't know if they're just repeating an old... And there's not that many people watching the ones that I'm showing here. And so sometimes what these sources do is they repeat old speeches.
I don't think he is speaking right now.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. There's 340s. Like, you gotta understand, a lot of these big news sources like Times Now and others, they want you to always think somebody's speaking, so you click, right? And they do this so that people end up clicking their content. And so they just kind of, they kind of splice a bunch of old streams together, and then they say things like, hey, the president's speaking or whatever. But it's not always true. So you just gotta be careful with it. And so I'm showing a bunch of different ones. So yeah, I don't even think I see 3 different speeches at 3 different places getting streamed by different news sources. So just be careful. All right, so I am going to short this here. One contract though, just one. We're not going to add to it unless we go deeper into the green here. It's pretty green, but not enough. We need deeper. Yeah, all good, Roke. It's all good. Yeah, because if Trump was speaking, I'll put it this way, like, we'd get a lot of his quotes coming through the finance media. So the fact that we do not see, like, Trump says this, Trump says that, means he's probably not actually speaking. It's just old. Yeah, my losses have been pretty small on the day today, though. And part of the reason is just because we've been taking really small positions, and then it hasn't really been going in my favor. And so we've been just cutting it with small losses versus, you know, more. We did get up to about 360. The previous closing price is right where we are now. We did just pop a little bit, though. Let's see if this holds. Not an easy day, though, for me. I should have read the short trend earlier. Alright, so we're about flat here. Again, I need a little bit bigger breakdown to add to this, so we are past 10. I'll add to this if it goes in my favor, really. Yeah, I saw the 14 ships news much earlier. So I think they're just kind of repeating that, but CENTCOM reported it this time, so that might be why, but yeah. Yeah, so China's speaking right now. China's foreign minister says priority is to push U.S. and Iran back to negotiations. I don't think Trump's speaking right now. Again, if he was, we'd get news about it. Again, y'all might be watching old old Trump speeches set on repeat that news stations are acting like he's always speaking. I'm still trying to give this some time. I wanted to enter anywhere but around 350s to 360s. We are rejecting at the previous closing price a couple different times here, but we're not going to take a big position now. All red for me today. Yeah, I don't think Trump's actually speaking. Again, we'd see actual quotes from him in finance media, and we don't.
I'm like 90% sure he's not.
Yeah, again, we would know. Again, guys, if you look at, like, finance media, that's the way to tell. Like, if he was speaking right now, I'd be streaming it. The issue is, you know, again, news sources, a lot of the time, they want you to keep clicking on their content, and so they say Trump's speech. They don't... And it is a Trump speech, but it's an old one that they're just kind of circulating. All right, guys. So again, we're sitting tight here. Just kind of waiting.
What would gold prices need to drop for you to buy into it short term? Like what number would it need to hit?
What do you mean short term? Do you mean like buy into it, or do you mean how long do I hold it? You mean hold it short term for like
Yeah.
a day trade?
Yeah, for a short term buy, how much would it need to drop?
Short term,
No,
I'd
I'm
going
not-
off of short term. I'd be going off of patterns, right? And so it's not about how much it drops necessarily. I would just be looking for, if we're talking day trading, it'd be more pattern driven than level driven, price driven. If we're talking about like holding for a year or two is really risky. I'd need a very large drop. Long term though, I like gold. I think gold's one of the single best inflation hedges you can get. But short term, it's risky for sure.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked the question the way I did. And honestly, I didn't really mean day trading. I just
Yeah.
Oh.
I ended up cutting this trade. It's one of those days where I'm just not getting into anything really good. You know, market's kind of faking me out a decent amount. So at least you guys are making money on the short side. Here's oil though. Oil has pushed up some today, but I think this is just like an exhaustion bounce on the upside, so to speak.
I don't know about 3,800 specifically, J Chance, but I'm kind of with you there. I would definitely need it to drop below 4,000 if I was going to buy into it short term.
Yeah, look at this big squeeze on the Nasdaq here. You know, here's the previous closing price. So the Nasdaq is now technically green on the day here, guys. Let's see if it holds. We didn't tap that previous closing price. We'll see if we hold, but we went up to the 200 exponential and then rejected exactly off of it. And the VWAP and the 200 EMA is right here. So kind of confirmed the downward trend. Now we just got to get under like the previous close. Yeah, we don't see those Elon and Kathy scam streams anymore. You know? And you used to see those a lot. So back in the day, right? Like you would get people who would follow these scam streams by Kathy Woods or like big names, big public figures in crypto. And really just big public figures in general. And what they would do is they would splice a bunch of old interviews together. And then they would they'd be like, hey, if you send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 2 back. They'll be like, Bill Gates is just being nice to everybody today. If you send him 1 Bitcoin, he's going to send you 2 back. It was just scamming people, right? People were falling for it. I would get people messaging me and they'd be like, hey guys, you know, Kathy Wood's speaking, or hey, you know, this guy's speaking. And I'd look at the stream and I'd say, no, this is a scammer that is sending it a bunch of bot views and then essentially just promising the world and trying to get people to trying to talk people into sending them free crypto, and then they'll never see the crypto again. They'll take your money and run.
A lot. So I mean, sounds like quite a few people fell for it, huh?
Oh, a bunch of people. They did it enough to try to earn money from it for sure. Like people would fall for it, hook, line, and sinker, dude. They would just fall for it. You know, unfortunately.
Well, in that case, I just want all you guys to know that I'm a Nigerian prince.
Yeah.
I got my money tied up right now.
Yeah. Look, dude. I mean, I believe that. You know. You're the top 3 in the world there, you know. All right, so we're now under the previous close. Yeah, I mean, we did jump in another short here. I took it off stream because, frankly, I lost enough on stream, you know. But we did make our money back here, to be honest. And now we're in short again. And we are breaking down here. Listen, if you fail 3 times in a row, sometimes trying again works, if at first you don't succeed or something like that. We're under 350s.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, take your ball and go home.
I know, man. Listen, I'm going to cut this here. That's probably the better move for trading. Going small, adding to winners. Yeah, that's the right move. Britt runs those romance scams. Yeah, Britt's the guy who, listen, guys. Johnny Depp needs money, okay? He needs you to send him $100 in Walmart gift cards, all right? He's just testing your love,
Yeah, well, mostly he can't afford new pillowcases, but...
Right. His money's tied up right now, guys. Yeah. Bears are in control now. 200 exponential VWAP level just rejected cleanly here.
Yeah, I agree. I hate seeing elderly people get scammed too. I mean, especially when they get hit big. I mean, like you're essentially stealing people's life when you do that kind of thing, and I think the punishment for those kinds of things should be much more harsh than it is.
No, for sure.
On his bed, I'm pretty sure it was on the pillowcase, which is why I made the joke that I made.
Yeah. Here's a big pop here.
Now that you get my joke, you better laugh. What do you think is might be causing the pop?
I don't know here. I'm looking at news. I think it's just the exhaustion bounce. Like we just dropped so much. I did jump back in short in this, to be honest. Here, I'll show you guys. Very small. Again, we're gonna add to it now and then hold it close to break even. Take one off there since we're continuing to break. Take another off here. Let's see if we can ride this down some more. Hold it close to break even on the last one though.
Thanks for indulging me, stuff.
I'm gonna cut this right here, I think, and just get out. Not a bad little rebound to the day here. It could have been worse, but yeah, Bears again. What I should have done the whole time, guys, is just waited for the 200 exponential VWAP test and just rode the longer term trend down, set a big stop, and just made money that way. But it's all good. I'm probably gonna get out of here though, guys. Again, if you haven't already, check out Lucid. Lucid is a great way to learn. I like Lucid because it's got a big combination of all of them, right? It's got a big combination of all of them. If you see this link, look. 60 million paid to traders, 50,000 plus traders. Average payout time is 15 minutes. They processed my last one in 1 minute. 1 minute. Again, 90-10 split, no payout windows, clear and simple rules, 10-to-1 micro scaling, end of day drawdowns, and more for Lucid. You can go direct to fund it on Lucid as well. It's 238 for the 25K one. Lucid Flex, Lucid Pro. A lot of benefits to each of these depending on which kind of trader you are. A lot of good options here. And so, again, most day traders lose money. So you can check out Lucid. And I'm going to get out of here, guys. Y'all have a great day. Again, be safe in this market, guys. Markets are a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad market. I think I just didn't do great today. We're mostly flat on the day, but we had one account where we're definitely down on. So,
everybody have a good day. Smash the like button. Join the Discord. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody be safe.
Yeah, y'all have a great day, guys. Again, not an investment professional. Some of the links are affiliate links. And, yeah, I'm going to cut out of here. John leaving is bearish. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day.
Later, everybody.